Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice. But before we join Superman, listen.
And now to our story. It begins today in the editorial room of the Daily Planet. Clark Kent is putting the finishing touches on a last-minute news release when Lois Lane saunters up to his desk.
How do you spell industrious?
Huh? Industrious? I-N-D... Oh, I get it. All right, no, I'm not industrious. I'm just knocking this thing out so I can get over to the football game. Incidentally, how about joining me?
Are you kidding?
No, not at all.
When I go to a game, Mr. Kent, I like to be escorted by someone who knows football. I don't want to spend the afternoon explaining it to you.
Oh, well, I think I know enough to get by. At least the sports editor believes I do. He just asked me to cover the game.
You cover a football game?
Sure.
I bet you don't even know the difference between a T formation and a double wingback.
Well, now, maybe I'll surprise you. Come along and see.
Now, don't tell me you once played football yourself.
No, but, well,
I didn't think so. It's a little too rough, isn't it?
Now, look, do you want to go to the game or don't you?
Which game is it?
Metropolis University against State College. Metropolis won't have any trouble winning. They're all set for an undefeated season, but it should be a good game to watch anyway. Just to see the terrific Metropolis backfield roll up a big score.
Are you trying to tell me State's a pushover?
Well, of course. Everyone knows State hasn't a chance.
Oh, is that so?
Sure.
Well, when I went to State College, our team was famous for scoring upsets, and I have a hunch they'll do it today.
Well, maybe. But make up your mind. I don't want to be late. Are you coming?
Okay, I'll come. But wait just a second. I want to get something out of my desk. Here. This is for you.
No? What is it?
A brand new football rule book. You'll need it. Remember, I'm not going to tell you what the game's all about. Nice going, State. There, did you see that, Mr. Expert? Right through the middle of the Metropolis line for 15 yards. This is the upset I told you about.
It's no upset yet, Lois. Metropolis is still 2 touchdowns ahead.
Yeah, but they did all their scoring in the first 3 quarters. And now State's really going to town. We've got Metropolis on the run.
Well, it won't do State much good. Only 5 minutes left to play.
There goes Parker. Right through the middle of the line again. He's in the clear. He's going over. He is over. It's a touchdown. And that makes it 20-13. Here comes the try for the extra point. They made it. 20-14. One more touchdown and State has this game sewed up.
I don't quite understand it, Lois. Funny.
What's funny?
Well, the Metropolis team seems to be going to pieces.
And how? State's just too good for him.
No, it isn't that. All 4 backfield men could have stopped that last line plunge easily. Why, they tackle as if they weren't half trying.
Here comes the kickoff. Come on, State!
No, Metropolis is receiving. State won't have enough time to get the ball again and score.
There's the kick.
Oh, the Metropolis fullback dropped the ball. Fall on it! Oh, what's the matter with him? Why doesn't someone try to get that ball? Get it!
State recovered. It's State's ball on the 20-yard line. Here we go.
Something's wrong. What's happened to Metropolis?
Here's the play. Right through tackle. Look at him bowl those Metropolis men over.
He's not bowling them over. They're just not putting up any opposition. Look at Harris, the captain. He's staggering. He's down.
Can't take it, that's all. State hits too hard.
Oh, there wasn't a man near him on that play. Look, they're carrying him off the field. Uh-oh. Spike Taylor, the Metropolis coach, just left the bench. Something's wrong.
There's a whistle, Clark. Sit down.
Oh, sir, I'm going down to the dressing room. I'll see you back at the office.
Wait a minute. Come back. Clark.
Oh, this must be the dressing room door. Yeah, There's Taylor pacing up and down. I was right. Something is up. Hello, Coach.
Oh, hello, Kent.
What's the trouble, Coach?
Yeah. What do you mean?
Now, you know what I mean. What happened to Bob Harris?
Why, nothing.
Now, wait a minute. Look. I'm a newspaper reporter, but I've known you a long time. Harris collapsed on the field without being touched.
Why, someone clipped him during a play.
You mean State's playing dirty football?
No, of course not. Now, don't go saying anything like that in the Planet. It's not true.
Well, then what is the truth? You've got a team out there on the field that's going to pieces. It's cracking up. Well, they tackle like a bunch of high school freshmen. They fumble, they fail to recover, they mess up plays. What's happening?
I wish I knew.
Well, there is something wrong, huh?
Yes, Kent, there's something wrong. Something seriously wrong.
You don't know what it is?
I haven't the faintest idea. Those boys of mine went out there in the pink of condition. They were keyed up to a beautiful pitch, ready to rip through State like a tornado.
Well, they did for the first 3 quarters.
Yes, I know. And something went wrong. They all seemed listless. Harris never fumbled a kickoff in all the 4 years he's been on the team. The day the ball slipped through his hand as though his fingers were greased. And a few seconds later, he collapsed.
Where is he now?
In the infirmary. Dr. Stone of the medical school is examining him.
What's that?
Either State scored again or...
Well, you squeezed that one out, Coach.
Yes, but it's small comfort. Come into my office, Kent. I don't want the boys to see me when they troop in. Sit down.
Thanks.
I should have known you would be the first person to suspect something.
Well, I couldn't very well help it. After all, 11 men don't all fold up the way that bunch did.
11? You mean 30? Every substitute on the squad seemed to be washed out. I couldn't believe my eyes.
Have they been breaking training?
Not a chance.
Could it be some sort of an epidemic? Maybe the flu?
I don't think so. We'll know better once Dr. Stone gets through examining Bob Harris. But it couldn't be anything like that. Why, during scrimmage this morning, I had all I could do to hold them back. Why, I felt sorry for the state line. Never in all my 20 years of coaching have I seen a team so primed for a game. And then to have them fold like a house of cards. Come in. Oh, it's you, Dr. Stone. Come in. This is Clark Kent of the Daily Planet newspaper. Dr. Elihu Stone, assistant to the dean of the medical school.
How do you do, Doctor?
How do you do, Mr. Kent?
Well, Dr. Stone?
I can find nothing wrong with the young man, Mr. Taylor. He seems to be in perfect health.
But how do you account for his sudden collapse?
Probably nervous exhaustion.
That doesn't sound likely, not with Bob Harris. He's played 60 minutes at a time without drawing a hard breath.
Well, I examined him as completely as I could under the circumstances. In fact, I took the precaution of securing a sample of his blood for microscopic examination. I have it right here in a vial.
And you say he's in perfect health? Nothing wrong?
Absolutely nothing. Heart action strong and regular. Pulse good. Respiration perfect. Marvelous specimen of manhood.
Well, maybe I'm crazy.
Why do you say that?
Because Harris wasn't the only one affected. Every man on the team seemed to droop.
If you'll pardon me, Doctor, I was wondering whether it mightn't be some sort of food poisoning.
I found no indication of that in my examination of Mr. Harris. Well, I must go up to the laboratory now and examine this blood specimen. Is there anything else I can do for you, Mr. Taylor? Please don't hesitate to call on me. Oh, I was delighted to have met you, Mr. Kent.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Oh, Dr. Stone.
Yes?
What sort of care should Harris get?
Oh, he's quite all right now. Up on his feet. He's taking a shower, I believe.
He is?
Oh, yes.
I'm glad to hear that. Thanks a lot, Doctor.
Yes, you're quite welcome. Goodbye.
Goodbye, sir.
Well, that's a relief.
Relief?
And how? I was imagining all sorts of things. Well, it's good to know there's nothing wrong.
I wonder.
What do you mean?
I'd suggest that you talk with Bob Harris. Ask him what happened before he collapsed.
Oh, look, don't get me biting my nails all over again. Stone said there was nothing wrong with Harris, and that's enough for me.
Now, just think about it a minute. Harris wasn't the only one affected. He happened to keel over, but every man on the team seemed to be hit by this strange malady.
Now, Walt, take it easy. What do you mean, strange malady? Don't make it worse than it is.
I'm not trying to make it anything.
Well, let's drop it then.
Well, I don't think it should be dropped.
Now, look, Ken, I'm running this team.
I know, Coach, but you have to...
Yes? Bob Harris, Coach. Can I see you for a minute?
Here's your chance.
Yes. Come in.
Oh, sorry to bust in this
That's
way.
all right. That's all right. Close the door. You know Clark Kent of the Daily Planet?
Sure. Hello, Bob.
Oh, hello, Mr. Kent.
How do you feel, Harris?
Well, pretty good now. I wanted to tell you I didn't mean to poop out. Something hit me, like a ton of bricks.
Well, how did it happen?
Gosh, I don't know. At the beginning of the fourth quarter, my legs got heavy. And then my head began to swing. Next thing I knew, there was a play through left guard, and I couldn't get to it. It just dropped.
Well, don't worry about it. We won the game. That's what counts.
Yeah, I know, Coach, but I was talking to the rest of the boys. Hit them, too, and they're worried. Some of them are even scared.
What?
Sure, Bud Regan's nervous as a cat. Tiny Warren's all set to hand in his suit. He says he's through.
Now, wait a minute, Harris. Wait a minute. This can't go on. You go back and tell the boys there'll be a meeting in the gymnasium in an hour. I want every one of them present.
Okay. Glad to see you, Mr. Cash.
Righto, Bob. Well?
I guess you were right. Something's got to be done about it fast. Too much depends on the Metropolis team going through the season undefeated. Entirely too much.
What are you driving at?
Kent, we're not just playing football to win this year. We're not playing to put half the squad on the All-American or get a bid to the Rose Bowl. We're playing for the lives of thousands of kids. We're fighting against death, and we've got to understand, Kent. The Metropolis team isn't just playing to win this year. It's playing for stakes that may mean life or death for thousands of helpless kids.
Well, frankly, I don't understand, Coach.
Well, by some miracle, we pulled a game of state out of the fire today. That leaves us only one more opponent. Southwest College. The toughest, smartest team in the country.
You play them next Saturday.
That's right. And if we knock them over, we'll be invited to play in the Rose Bowl.
Oh, I still don't follow you, Coach. You say you're not playing to win, and yet all you're worried about is winning to get into the Rose Bowl.
I mean, it's not the boys on the team or myself or even the university. It's those thousands of kids.
Now, wait a minute. Who are the thousands of kids you're talking about, and what's this business about life or death?
I can't explain it to you properly, Kent, so there's no sense trying. Come on, I'm going up to the laboratory to see Professor Nelson. He's head of the medical school. He'll tell you what I mean. Wait. There's one promise I want, Kent.
Oh, what is it?
You've got to promise you won't print this story until after the Southwest game next Saturday.
Well, that's a strange request.
I know, but it's important that nothing leaks out. For the team's morale and for other reasons.
Okay, I promise.
I knew you would. Let's go. This is the new medical college. It was just completed early this year. One of the finest in the country. Here's the research laboratory. I hope Professor Nelson's in.
Boy, did you say laboratory? This place smells and looks like a zoo.
Yes, it does. Oh, there's Professor Nelson, a tall man with a white goatee. Professor.
Oh, hello, Mr. Taylor.
Professor Nelson, this is Clark Kent of the Daily Planet.
How do you do, Mr. Kent?
How do you do, Professor? I'm very happy to meet you.
Keep quiet, you little devil. This last batch of monks chattered like magpies.
I was wondering what you did with cages full of monkeys, Professor.
They're rhesus monkeys, Mr. Kent, and we use them for experimental purposes.
Oh?
One of these days, a little white-faced rhesus monkey is going to be responsible for ridding humanity of its most horrible children's disease.
You mean infantile paralysis?
Yes, infantile paralysis.
Now you see what I meant when I said thousands of lives depend on the team. When I called it a matter of life or death.
Well, I'm beginning to, but it's still not entirely clear.
It will be when Professor Nelson finishes. I'm sorry I interrupted.
It's quite all right. You see, Mr. Kent, monkeys are a lot like human beings. They have similar nervous systems and suffer a great many of the ailments we suffer. They can contract infantile paralysis.
Uh-huh.
That's why we use them for experimental purposes, in the hope that by studying their reaction to paralysis, we can be the means of saving human life and limb.
Yes, but what has all this to do with the Metropolis football team, Coach?
Professor Nelson will tell you.
Gladly. It takes a great deal of money to maintain a scientific laboratory such as this is, Mr. Kent.
Yes?
Right now, we need more microscopes, more centrifuges, more equipment of every kind. We could use a larger staff of research workers. Oh, yes. And more monkeys. They cost money, too.
Well, I still don't see the connection between all this and the football team. It seems a little far-fetched.
Not at all, Kent. Wait.
I was just about to explain the connection, Mr. Kent. Last year, David Leslie Richards, the millionaire gold mine owner, passed away.
Oh, yes, I remember. He left some money to the university, didn't he?
Yes, quite a lot. Mr. Richards was a graduate of Metropolis, and his will bequeathed the university $3 million to be used specifically in building up a completely equipped medical research laboratory.
Well, that $3 million should have taken care of everything.
It will, Kent, if we can get it.
Well, what do you mean, get it? It was left to the university, wasn't it?
Only if we earned it, Mr. Kent.
What?
The bequest provided that the university must, through its own efforts, raise $500,000 in order to receive the $3 million legacy. and it must be raised within the year.
Oh, so that's where the football team comes in.
Exactly. We've gotten alumni donations of $300,000, which leaves $200,000 to raise by the end of next month. Our final game with Southwest should draw 50,000 people, and if we beat them, we'll be invited to the Rose Bowl for a postseason game. 80,000 people at the bowl, and we're over the top.
Oh, that explains everything, Coach. Now I know what you meant when you said an undefeated football team is a matter of life and death.
Yes, and now you know why the team's collapse this afternoon frightened me out of 10 years' growth.
Sure.
I wouldn't worry too much about that, Mr. Taylor. Your boys were probably overstrung on edge. I'm certain they'll be all right.
Well, they seem fine now, Professor. A few of them are frightened by what happened on the field.
Dr. Stone took a sample of Bob Harris' blood for analysis. He was the youngster who collapsed during play.
Stone must be inside working on it now.
Hey, what's that?
Oh, Hercules. He's probably hungry or thirsty. Would you like to see him?
Sure, Kentwood.
Well, come on. He's just around this bend in the room.
Oh, great Scott, a caged gorilla.
What's the trouble, Hercules? Want some water? Okay. We'll pour some into your pan.
Oh, look at him lapping up.
Now he'll curl up and go to sleep. He's really quite docile as long as we give him enough to eat and drink.
I still hate to meet him in a dark alley.
Well, I imagine that would be a little unpleasant. Hercules is strong enough to tear a man to pieces. Oh, here comes Dr. Stone. He probably has a report for you, Mr. Taylor. Find anything, Doctor?
No, not a solitary thing. Both white and red count are normal.
It's just as I suspected.
Well, I must say that's good news.
I wonder.
What do you mean, Mr. Kent?
Well, I can't quite believe the boys in that football team reacted naturally today. Oh, granted they were on edge and maybe a little too finely drawn, but that Logan has hit every one of them without exception.
Medical science is fairly accurate, Mr. Kent. No, but if we can find no indication of disease, wouldn't it be fair to assume that fatigue was responsible for what happened?
They couldn't all have been fatigued. You know, it just occurred to me, Professor Nelson, what happens to that $3 million bequest if the university fails to raise its quota of $500,000?
The money reverts to other beneficiaries.
Oh, who are they?
I don't know, Mr. Kent, but I hardly think that there's any bearing on the case. At the moment, our primary interest is to determine whether the young men on the football team require medical attention.
I told you how important the team is in the scheme of things.
Yes, I know, but I was just wondering.
Wondering what?
Who was Mr. Richards' lawyer? Who handled his will?
Mr. John Quincy of the firm of Quincy, Caldwell, and Scott. But really, Mr. Kent, I don't quite understand.
Well, I may be barking up the wrong tree, but they say if you bark up enough trees, you're bound to find the right one. Oh, is it really 4:30? I'm afraid I'll have to leave. Well, thanks for everything. I hope I see you all again. Goodbye.
Wait a minute, Kent. I'll go along with you.
All right.
Goodbye, Professor Nelson. Dr. Stone.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh, listen to those monkeys chatter.
Leaving the university, Clark Kent hurries to the law offices of Quincy, Caldwell, and Scott, and despite the lateness of the hour, gains admittance to the private walnut-paneled office of John Quincy, elderly senior member of the firm. Facing him across a massive desk, Kent makes known his mission.
And inasmuch as you were Mr. Richards' legal advisor, I thought you might be able to help me determine who will benefit under the terms of his will in the event the university fails to raise the money required.
Why do you want to know?
Well, at the moment, Mr. Quincy, I'm just curious.
The will of the late Mr. Richards is not an object of idle curiosity.
Well, my curiosity isn't exactly idle. A lot may depend on my knowing who stands to benefit if the money doesn't go to the university.
I'm afraid I shall have to require much more of an explanation.
But I can't give it to you now. You can trust me.
It isn't a matter of trust. The will has not yet been filed with the probate court. Only 4 people have knowledge of what disposition will be made of the $3 million bequest in case the university fails to earn it. The 3 beneficiaries and myself.
Oh, so there are 3 beneficiaries.
I merely picked an odd number.
Oh, no, you didn't. It slipped out. 3 beneficiaries.
Young man, I must ask you to leave at once.
Now, don't get excited, Mr. Quincy.
Would you leave, or do you wish me to summon the police?
Just a moment. I have one more thing to say.
Well, say it quickly before I lose patience.
You think I'm just a nosy reporter looking for a sensational story. Well, I'm not, Mr. Quincy. I've just been given a lesson in self-sacrifice, a lesson in devotion to the cause of humanity, a lesson that every man, woman, and child in the world should learn.
What is this nonsense?
No, it isn't nonsense. I just heard a man talk about saving the lives of youngsters, and his eyes lit up as though that were the only worthwhile thing in his life. I just heard a tough football coach choke up when he spoke of thousands of kids who needed medical help.
What are you talking about?
This is what I'm talking about. Metropolis University needs the $3 million Mr. Richards bequeathed in his will. The university needs it to fight the cruelest disease in the annals of medicine. The disease that strikes at helpless youngsters and cuts them down without giving them a chance. You know what I'm talking about. Infantile paralysis.
This is all very irrelevant.
Oh, no, it isn't. The way it looks now, the university may never get that much needed money.
What makes you say that?
Because it's my feeling that one of the three beneficiaries is...
All I know is that you were assigned to cover a football game. You sent Lois Lane back with your notes. As a result, someone else had to write the story. I think it's about time you learned to stay with an assignment once it's given you. Now, you're a reporter,
I know. I'm a reporter, not a detective.
Exactly.
Now, look, Mr. White, I've never let you down, have I?
Well, what's that got to do with it?
Well, simply this. There's a story behind that football game. A story much more important than the game itself. A story big enough to warrant headlines and a page-one spread.
Well, that's different. Why didn't you say so in the first place?
Well, you didn't give me a chance. However, it isn't ready to break yet.
Oh, I see. Another of your wild dreams, eh? As a matter of fact, Lois did mention that you were off on a wild goose chase again. She said you didn't even wait to see the end of the game. You dashed off 5 minutes before the final whistle blew.
Well, she's right. This is what happened. The Metropolis team went to pieces in the last quarter. Bob Harris, the captain, fainted on the field, and the rest of the men were staggering around like a bunch of dazed high school freshmen. Well, it didn't seem natural, so I had a talk with Spike Taylor, the coach.
Yes?
And Taylor was worried. Couldn't understand what had happened to his team. Every man on the squad was groggy.
State College probably gave them a fight.
No, it wasn't that. The men were dazed more than tired. Harris described it fairly well. He said his legs went weak and his head began to swim.
Did the doctor examine him?
Yeah, sure. Dr. Stone of the medical school. He even made a blood test. Nothing showed up.
Well, there's your answer.
I'm afraid not, Mr. White. There's more to it than appears on the surface. Briefly, this is the story. The Metropolis team has one more game to play with Southwest University. Now, if they win, they'll be undefeated and get an invitation to play at the Rose Bowl.
Yes, I know. I read the papers, Kent. You're not telling me anything new.
Well, I will in a moment. Metropolis must win because a lot depends on it.
Like Taylor's coaching job?
Oh, no. Something more important. The lives of thousands of youngsters.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Well, you see, a man named Richards, an alumnus of the university, died last year and left the medical research laboratory $3 million, provided the university could raise $500,000 on its own hook. Now, the research laboratory needs that money badly to carry on its infantile paralysis work, trying to find a cause and cure.
Yes. Go on. Get to the point.
I am. They've raised $300,000 so far, and if the team wins its final game and goes to the Rose Bowl, the university's share of the gate receipts will give them the money they need to get the legacy.
Well, it's a nice human interest story, but it's not page one by any manner of means.
Oh, the page one story is yet to come. You see, despite the fact that Dr. Stone found nothing wrong with Bob Harris, I didn't like the look of things. So I had a talk with Professor Nelson, dean of the medical school. I learned from him that if the university failed to raise the $500,000 by next month, the $3 million legacy went to someone else.
Who?
That's what I wanted to know. So I checked with John Quincy, the lawyer who handled the will. But he refused to give me any information. But he did let slip that 3 people would benefit if the university didn't get the legacy. Now, do you see the possibility of a page one story?
Yes. It's pretty far-fetched. You think that one of the 3 people is trying to keep the university from getting the $3 million?
Uh-huh. By putting the football team out of commission.
Yeah, that's Frank Merrill stuff, Kent. Doesn't happen in real life. Who are the 3 possible heirs?
That's what I don't know. The will hasn't been filed with the court yet. But Quincy, the lawyer, knows. Somehow, I've got to get him to cooperate.
Frankly, I think you're wasting your time. I thought you really had something, but all you've got are...
An important message for you.
What do you mean by breaking in here like a cyclone? I thought I told you last week.
I'm sorry, Mr. White, but the boy who delivered it said it was urgent.
I don't care what it is. Get out.
Okay.
Well, let me have the message, Jimmy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here.
Thanks.
Get out, I said.
I'm going, Mr. White.
Hey, you scared the daylights out of that poor kid.
Well, the next time I'll whip the daylights out of him. This is supposed to be a private office, not a three-ring circus. By rights, I should fire that young whippersnapper. He's entirely too fresh.
Oh, Jimmy's not fresh. He's just eager. Anyway, you won't fire him, so why talk about it? Your bark is much worse than your bite.
Oh, is that so?
Yes, that's so.
Well, why don't you read that message if it's so all-fired important?
I will.
My bark is worse than my bite. What we need around here is more discipline.
Great Scott.
What's the matter?
A moment ago, Mr. White, you said you thought I was wasting my time on this football team story. All right, look at this.
Clark Kent, Daily Planet. This is a little friendly advice. Keep your nose out of other people's business, or you won't be using it to breathe with very long.
Uh-huh. If that's not a threat, I never read one.
It's not signed.
Who delivered it?
I think Jimmy mentioned a messenger boy. We'll ask him. Jimmy! Oh, Jim!
Okay, I know. I was expecting you.
Come in a minute, Jim. What were you expecting?
This. You don't have to tell me. I know. I'm fired.
Oh, don't be silly.
You should be fired, you young... Oh, what's the use?
Ah, this had nothing to do with being fired, Jimmy. What we want to know is who delivered this message to me.
Why, just a boy.
A messenger boy?
No, just a boy like me.
Nobody could be quite like you.
Would you recognize the boy if you saw him again?
Gosh, I don't know. I didn't pay much attention to him.
Of course not.
Is something wrong, Mr. Kent? Did I make a mistake?
No, Jimmy. No. We just thought the letter had been delivered by a uniformed messenger. I think I'll take a run over to the university and see Dr. Nelson. I better call him first.
Use my phone.
Okay. Get me the medical research laboratory at Metropolis University. That's right. Thank you. She'll call me when she gets there.
Well, what are you hanging around for?
Who, me?
No, my grandmother.
Well, can I stay?
What do you think this is? A railroad station waiting room?
Jimmy's not in the way, Mr. White. Let him stay.
Now, look here, Kent.
Wait. Hello. Is this Professor Nelson? Oh, Dr. Stone. Is Professor Nelson there? This is Clark Kent. I see. Wait just a minute, will you please? Quiet, please, Mr. White. Hello. Yes, well, when he comes back, will you please tell him I'm on my way over to the university? Yes, something very important has come up. I'll be there in 10 minutes. Thank you. Nelson stepped out for a moment, but he'll be back by the time I get there.
Hey, wait a minute. What are you rushing over to see Nelson for?
Well, perhaps he can use some influence with that lawyer Quincy to get us the names of the 3 beneficiaries. I'll be back as soon as I can. You want to come along, Jimmy?
Boy, and how?
Just a minute, Kent. He was hired to run copy,
Okay,
not to run...
Jim, let's go.
Right with you.
Now, see here. Kent, come back here. Come back here, I said. Kent, come back here, I said.
Going to be mad as a wet hen. He didn't want you to take me.
Now, don't you worry, Jimmy. He'll forget all about it before we get back.
Oh, what are you going to do at the university? Watch the team practice?
No, we're going up to the research laboratory to see Professor Nelson. You'll like the monkeys and the gorilla.
Monkeys and a gorilla?
Uh-huh. Dozens of little white-faced rhesus monkeys and a huge 400-pound gorilla. They call him Hercules.
Gosh, he doesn't walk around free, does he?
Well, hardly. He's locked in a cage.
Well, what's he doing in the laboratory?
Well, I suppose Professor Nelson and Dr. Stone experiment on him. You know, monkeys and gorillas are a lot like human beings.
Yeah, I know. I saw a couple of gorillas in the movies. They danced and played the piano and smoked cigars.
They were probably apes or chimpanzees. Gorillas are a little too vicious to train. There's a big one in the circus that comes to Metropolis every year.
Oh, that's right, Gargantua. Is Hercules as big as Gargantua?
Well, not quite, but it's big enough. We'll see. Well, here we are. Guess I can park here. All right, Jim, come on.
Okay. Which way, Mr. Kent?
That's the medical building over there, that old brick structure.
Do they keep the monkeys in cages, too?
Mm-hmm. Small wire cages.
I'll bet they're cute.
Yes, but noisy. Shatter all the time. Watch your step here, Jimmy. The laboratory's down in the basement. I think this is the door.
It sure is. Listen to those monkeys. Where's Hercules, the gorilla?
He's in a cage around that bend in the room, Jim. Doesn't seem to be anybody here. Professor Nelson?
Maybe he's out to dinner.
No, Dr. Stone said he was coming right back. I told him I'd be over in 10 minutes.
Can I see the gorilla, Mr. Kent?
Sure, of course you can. He's right around that bend.
Oh, I know, but if you'd come too,
There's nothing to be afraid of, Jimmy. He's in a cage.
Okay.
Professor Nelson? Dr. Stone? That's funny. There's a soul here. I wonder whether we got...
Help!
Jimmy, what's the matter? Listen to those monkeys chatter, Jimmy. They're the ones I was telling you about. Professor Nelson and Dr. Stone use them for experimental purposes.
Well, where's Hercules, the gorilla?
He's in a cage around that bend in the room there. Professor Nelson? Dr. Stone? Looks like they're both out.
Can I see the gorilla, Mr. Kent?
Sure, of course you can. Just around that bend.
Oh, I know, but...
Well, there's nothing to be afraid of, Jimmy. He's locked up in a cage.
Oh, okay.
Professor Nelson? Dr. Stone. That's funny. There's not a soul here. I wonder whether they could...
Kent, help!
Jimmy, what's the matter?
Help, Mr. Kent.
What happened, Jimmy?
The gorilla. He's out of his cage.
What?
Look.
Run for the door, Jimmy. Come on. All right, you get outside.
What are you going to do, Mr. Kent?
Lure him back into his cage.
No, you can't. He'll attack you.
Do as I say. Now get outside. Hurry.
Mr. Kent, please.
Go ahead. Good thing this door locks so Jimmy won't decide to open it right in the middle of things. There, that does it. Now, Hercules, we'll take care of you as Superman. I don't know how you got out of your cage, but you'll be back there before you know it. Oh, don't like the idea, do you? Sorry, but you can't be trusted wandering around here. Hey, put that bottle down. Oh, you're in a playful mood, eh? All right, catch this. You're tough, Hercules, but not tough enough. Come on, I'm ready for you. That's the boy. Now, let's see what you can do with both arms pinned to your body. Oh, try to bite a piece out of me, you'll break your teeth. Now, we'll just carry you back where you belong. Dump you into your cage. Slam the door. And throw the bolt on. Shaking those bars won't do a bit of good, Hercules, old boy. You might just as well calm down. Wonder how you managed to get out. That bolt couldn't have slipped.
Mr. Kent.
What?
Mr. Kent.
Oh, sounds like Professor Nelson. Clark Kent is going to have a tough time explaining how he got that 400-pound gorilla back into his cage without any casualties except that broken bottle.
Mr. Kent, open up.
Just a moment.
Kent, are you all right?
Mr. Kent.
Oh, everything's okay. There's nothing to worry about.
The gorilla.
He's back in his cage.
What?
I'll tell you all about it.
But how?
I'll tell you all about it. Jimmy, did you round up this rescue party?
Sure, the minute you locked the door, I ran out to the campus and yelled at the top of my lungs.
You certainly got a crew together fast. Now, thanks very much, boys, but our friend Hercules is safe and sound in his cage. Now, thanks for coming out. Come on in, Professor. You too, Jimmy.
You gave me a couple of very uneasy moments, Kent.
Not to mention the uneasy moments Hercules gave me.
I must have a look at him.
Oh, he's all right now. Look out for that shattered bottle, Professor. Hercules threw it at me. Fortunately, he's no big league pitcher.
Gosh, I don't understand how you got him back in his cage, Mr. Kent.
Well, there he is, curled up in a corner, looking as though butter would melt in his mouth.
Something's wrong with him. The left side of his jaw is terribly swollen.
His jaw. Oh, is it? That's funny.
Did you hit him with something, Mr. Kent?
Who, me? Oh, no, I didn't get that close.
How did you force him back into his cage?
Why, just by shouting at him and waving my
I
arms.
don't quite understand this. Wasn't there anyone in the laboratory when you and this young man entered?
No, not a soul. Jimmy wanted to see Hercules, so he walked around to the cage. And what did you find, Jim?
Well, the door was wide open, and Hercules was coming out. All I could do was scream and run.
Oh, Professor Nelson.
Yes.
But good heavens, sir, what happened?
Nothing, Doctor.
Well, they said the gorilla was loose.
Yes, but Mr. Kent frightened him back into his cage. He seems all right now, save for a swollen jaw.
Well, I walked over to the faculty club to tell you that Mr. Kent had called to say he'd be here in 10 minutes.
Oh, I see. That's why the laboratory was empty.
But how did Hercules get out of the cage?
I don't know. You say the door was ajar, Mr. Kent?
Was it, Jimmy?
If you mean wide open, yes.
This bolt couldn't have slipped. Well, we can be thankful nothing serious happened. You owe Mr. Kent a debt of gratitude for having sufficient presence of mind to lock the door and tackle the animal single-handed. It's taken a lot of courage.
Amazing courage.
Frankly, there wasn't time to think about it.
It should teach us a lesson, Dr. Stone. Never to leave the laboratory on guard.
Well, I'm sorry, sir, but it's wholly my fault.
Dr. Stone, when did you see Hercules last? I mean, before you went in search of Professor Nelson.
Well, now, let me think. I gave him water a few minutes before you called. I remember it distinctly because I was interrupted by the training table cook.
The training table cook?
Yes, Mr. Taylor, the football coach, sent him up with a sample of some canned salmon that was to be served to the team last Friday night. I presume Mr. Taylor thought it might have been responsible for mild cases of ptomaine.
Well, did anyone else visit the laboratory?
Oh, just one of my students, McCoy. He delivered a paper that was overdue.
Kent, you're not insinuating that someone released Hercules deliberately, are you?
It wouldn't surprise me, Professor Nelson.
After all, there is a limit.
Well, maybe you won't think so once you've read this note. I received it at the Daily Planet office about a half hour ago. Read it.
Clark Kent, Daily Planet.
This is a little friendly advice. Keep your nose out of other people's business, or you won't be using it to breathe with very long. Who wrote this, Mr. Kent?
I don't know. It was delivered by boy, and it's obviously written in childish print to prevent identification. Now, possibly you'll realize there may be more to the sudden collapse of the Metropolis football team than appeared on the surface. As a matter of fact, I'm beginning to think the boys on the squad were poisoned.
Poison? Why, that's preposterous.
I don't know, Dr. Stone.
You know, you're making a very serious charge, Mr. Kent.
Yes, and I can back it up. Or at least, I'll back it up before long.
You contend that someone maliciously poisoned the football players to keep them from winning?
And not primarily to keep them from winning the game, but to keep the university from getting the Richards legacy.
But who would want to do that?
Any one of the three possible beneficiaries.
Do you know the beneficiaries, Mr. Kent?
No, I don't. But I'll find out if it's the last thing I do. That's why I wanted to talk with you, Professor Nelson. I thought perhaps you might call Mr. Quincy, the lawyer, and ask him who stands to benefit under the terms of Mr. Richards' will in the event the university fails to get the money.
He won't give me the information, Mr. Kent.
Oh?
I tried once before when it looked as though we were going to be unable to raise our quota of $500,000. I thought I might appeal to the beneficiaries to waive their rights. Mr. Quincy refused to cooperate.
Oh. Well, all right. We'll have to make use of another method. Come on, Jimmy.
Where are you going, Kent?
To see Mr. Quincy.
It's after office hours. He won't be there now.
Well, he may be. Hey, incidentally, Professor Nelson, you'd better tell Coach Taylor what's happened and warn him to keep an eagle eye on the team. At least until next Saturday's game. Let's go, Jim. I'll call you, Professor, if I accomplish anything.
Think the lawyer will be at his office now, Mr. Kent? It's almost 6 o'clock.
Nothing like trying, Jimmy. Now, I'll park here. Now, you sit tight and wait for me. The office building's just around the corner. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Okay. Can I turn on the radio?
Sure. Quincy refused to give Clark Kent any information, but he might have more respect for Superman. Now, let's see. This is the building. His office is on the 14th floor, facing rear. Good thing I took notice of that when I visited him Saturday. I'll just duck through this alley. I don't like to have to do things this way, but if I can help the university get that legacy, it's justified. All right, here we are. 14th floor, corner window, rear. Up! Up! There we are. This is the office. Pitch dark inside. Up with the window. And inside. Now, I imagine he must keep his copies of wills in his safe. Hate to have to ruin a good safe by ripping the door out. But the lives of thousands of boys and girls are worth more than the finest safe ever built. Now, where is it? Over here? No, that's a filing cabinet. Oh, wait a minute. He probably has a wall safe. Must be behind this big picture here. Yes, of course. There it is. Now, I'll just yank the door out and see whether I can find Richard's will. Here goes.
Don't. Stay where you are while I turn on the light. There. That's better. Who are you and what are you doing in my office?
Just paying you a little social call, Mr. Quincy. If I were you, I'd put that revolver away. Your hand is shaking. Evidently, you're not accustomed to pointing a gun.
Never mind about me. I presume you realize you've been caught in the act of burglary. What is that outlandish costume you're wearing?
Oh, just a little get-up of my own. But we're wasting time. Put that gun up.
What do you take me for, a fool? How did you get in here?
Through the window.
Don't be flippant. Answer my question.
I did, through the window.
You won't be so cocky once the police start working on you.
We'll worry about that later. Are you going to put that gun up?
Of course not, and don't move or I...
Or you'll what, Mr. Quincy?
Give me that revolver.
Oh, no. We'll just break it. Drop the bullets into this wastepaper basket and toss it into a corner. There we are. Now, open that safe.
Are you mad?
I said open that safe.
All right, I'll open it. There's nothing of value in there.
Open it. Quickly.
Yes, There you see. Only legal papers. No money.
I'm not after money. Give me Mr. Richards' will.
What?
You heard me. Mr. Richards' will.
No, I can't.
Now, look, Mr. Quincy. I'm not fooling. You recall how I got rid of your gun. I can get rid of you just as simply.
No, please don't. I'd give it to you.
Very well.
Here.
Thank you. I haven't time to read through it. On what page does it name the 3 beneficiaries in the event Metropolis University fails to claim its legacy? Well?
Page 4.
Page 4. 3, 4. Yes, here it is. Yeah. If for any reason whatsoever, the trustees of the aforesaid Metropolis University should fail to meet their quota in raising the aforementioned $500,000, it was indeed going to be divided into the following. Now we're coming to it. Equal parts of the aforesaid bequest of $3 million shall be bequeathed to the following: Andrew C. Clark, my half-brother; George Kane, my nephew; and the Cedar Crest Sanatorium at Mount Carteret. So, those are the 3 beneficiaries, eh?
Yes, but why are you interested in them? What business is it of yours?
You'll learn in time. Where is Andrew C. Clark, Mr. Quincy?
Well, he lives on a cattle ranch in Montana.
I see. And George Kane?
I don't know. The last we knew, he was working in an oil tanker.
All right, Mr. Quincy. Here's the will. I have all the information I want.
Wait, there's something else. Something important.
Oh, what is it?
I can't think for the moment. You confused me.
You'd better think fast. I'm in a hurry.
Just a minute, please. It's very important.
All right, get him up, mister. You're covered.
Oh, so that's why you were stalling, Quincy. You somehow signaled for the police.
That's right. Now you're trapped.
I don't think so. Not quite.
Get away from that window.
Sorry, officer.
I'm warning you.
So long. Don't waste your bullets. Up, and away! All right, hold on, Jimmy. We've got to get going fast.
Oh, gosh. What happened, Mr. Kent?
I'll tell you later. There we are. I guess we're all right now.
Was someone chasing you, Mr. Kent?
Well, not exactly, but that neighborhood wasn't very healthy.
Did you see the lawyer?
Yes. He gave me the information I wanted.
Mr. Kent, do you really think someone's trying to poison the whole Metropolis football team and keep it from winning its game with Southwest University on Saturday?
I wouldn't be a bit surprised, Jimmy. Well, maybe not poison the players, but knock them out sufficiently to prevent top-notch performance.
But didn't the doctor at the university say they weren't poisoned?
Yes, and that's what puzzles me.
Well, where are we going now?
To see Coach Taylor. I want to be sure he keeps an eagle eye on his players. Things are liable to happen any day now.
Come into my office, Kent. We'll be more comfortable. Well, where's young Jimmy?
Oh, he wanted to watch the men at the training table. I told him he could. You don't mind, do you?
Oh, not at all. Sit down.
Thank you.
Professor Nelson told me you're hot on the trail.
Not as hot as I'd like to be.
You really think someone's behind all this?
I don't have to think. I know.
The boys have been perfect, every one of them. We had a beautiful workout this afternoon.
Yes, I know, but today's only Monday. We've got 5 days to go before the game with Southwest.
Don't mention it. You'll put a hex on us.
I'm afraid the hex is on. We'll have to lift it before Saturday. Now, look, here's the situation. Under the terms of Richard's will, if the university doesn't get the $3 million, other beneficiaries share it.
Well, I know that, but who are the beneficiaries?
Richard's half-brother, a man named Clark, a nephew of his named George Kane, and the Cedar Crest Sanatorium at Mount Carteret.
And you think one of them is trying to put the skids under the football team?
Exactly. I haven't checked Clark and Kane yet, but I will first thing in the morning.
Well, I hope you're wrong, Kent. Personally, I'd like to forget the entire matter. All I ask for is a victory against Southwest, an invitation to the Rose Bowl, and we're set. That'll mean going over the top in our drive to raise that $500,000, and there'll be nothing else to worry about.
Well, it sounds swell, Spike, but it isn't that easy. You probably heard what happened at the research laboratory early this evening.
You mean about the gorilla getting loose?
Yes. I didn't mention it to anyone, but that looked as though it were deliberate.
What? You mean someone let Hercules out of his cage?
Uh-huh.
But now, wait a minute. That doesn't make sense. Why would anyone free a 400-pound gorilla?
For one of two reasons. Either to get rid of me and stop my investigation, or to create a panic that would take everyone's attention off the football team.
I don't know, Kent. That's carrying things a little too far. After all, if you hadn't been lucky, that hairy beast might have torn you and a dozen others to pieces.
No question about it.
Why? Why, that's murder.
There are some people who don't stop at murder, Coach.
Oh, I know, but after all, this isn't a racket someone's running. We're not mixed up with gangsters. Come in, come in.
Mr. Kent, he's poisoning the players.
What?
Stop him.
What are you talking about, Jimmy?
Don't let them drink the milk. It's poison.
What milk?
It's the milk they're putting on the training table. It's poison.
Good grief. You stay here. I'll be back.
Jimmy, what's this all about?
Wait till I catch my breath.
Don't drink any of that milk tonight. Take it back to the kitchen, Joe, and dump it. You heard what I said. Dump it, Joe.
If this is a joke, Jimmy, it's a bad one.
Oh, no, it's no joke.
All right, now. What made you say the milk was poisoned?
I saw the cook putting poison in the pitchers.
What? Where is he?
Wait a minute, Kent. Now, start from the beginning, Jimmy.
Well, I went into the kitchen to sort of look around, and I noticed the cook standing over the milk pitchers.
Yeah?
Well, I watched him carefully. He took a bottle full of some sort of medicine and poured a teaspoonful of the stuff into each pitcher.
Are you sure, Jimmy?
Oh, I'm positive.
I'm going to get that cook.
Now, take it easy, Kent.
Why?
I don't want the boys to know anything about this. We've got to keep it quiet.
Oh, yes.
They're just about finished with dinner now. They'll be leaving in a few minutes.
All right. Who is this cook, Spike?
His name is Dorf. He seemed like a pretty nice guy.
Dorf, eh? How long has he been here?
Since the beginning of the football season.
Yeah?
He used to cook on a boat.
What did you say?
I said the last job he had was cooking on a boat.
What kind of a boat?
I don't know. A freighter, I guess.
Freighter?
Well, what's the difference?
Oh, there's plenty of difference. George Kane, according to last reports, was working on an oil tanker.
Well, who's George King?
I told you. One of the beneficiaries. One of the people who stand to make $1 million if something happens to the Metropolis team.
Kent, do you think Dorf might be George King?
I wouldn't be a bit surprised.
Oh, the boys are finished. They're going upstairs. We can go into the kitchen now. Come on.
Can I come, Mr. Kent?
Yeah, sure, Jimmy.
All right. Now, take it easy. I don't want to frighten him. Now, he's liable to pick up a knife.
Yeah. Maybe you'd better let me go first.
No, I'll handle him. Now, you keep well back, Jimmy.
Yes, Mr. Taylor.
I'll open the swinging doors. All set?
Yes.
Let's go. Look here, Dorf. We want to... Well, I'll be.
Spike, it looks... Well, there's only one thing to do, Coach. Find that cook. What's his name again?
Dorf. Sam Dorf.
Yes, Dorf.
I can't picture him attempting to poison the boys on the team. He just isn't the type.
What's type got to do with it? Chances are he's using an assumed name. Didn't you tell me the last job he had was cooking on board a ship?
Oh, yes.
Well, I told you what I learned from Quincy, the lawyer who handled Richard's will. One of the beneficiaries who'll inherit a cool $1 million if the university doesn't get the money is George Kane, a nephew. According to Quincy, the last heard from Kane, he was working on an oil tanker.
Kent, you don't think Sam Dorf is George Kane?
I wouldn't be one bit surprised. Oh, but look, we're wasting time. We can't afford to let Dorf get too far away.
I called the university employment office to get what information they have about him. The girl said she'd call back.
Uh-huh.
Well, that must be the office now. Hello? Yeah? Hey, hold on a minute. Hey, hand me that pencil, Kent.
Sure. Here.
Thanks. All right, go ahead. 45 Darrow Lane, Sharon Heights. Widower, one child. What was that? Oh, I see. Well, thanks very much. Well, here it is. The address he gave was 45 Darrow Lane, Sharon Heights. That's about 50 miles from Metropolis on the B&R Railroad.
That boy in the kitchen said Dorf mentioned he had to catch a train.
Oh, yes, he did.
I'll call the B&R and check.
Good idea.
Operator, can you get me the train information bureau of the B&R Railroad? I have no directory. Thank you. I'll hold on. You know, Coach, it seems a little strange that he lives in Sharon Heights. A 50-mile train ride twice a day to... hello? Train information? Can you give me your evening schedule to Sharon Heights from Metropolis? That's right. Yes. 5:20, 7:10, 11:30. Is that all? No other connections, eh? All right, thank you. Well, he could have made the 7:10 if he rushed.
Well, it's 7:30 now. That means the train's left. Well, when does it get to Sharon Heights? We can call and have the police there pick him up.
No, I don't think that's the way to handle it. I'll go after him and bring him back.
What are you going to do, fly?
Why, yes.
Well, don't be foolish. There's no plane service to that bird.
Oh, I didn't intend taking a plane.
Now, wait a minute. Take it easy. In one breath, you say you're going to fly, and in the next breath, you say you didn't intend taking a plane.
Yeah, I was just a little confused. What I meant was I have a friend with a private plane. He'll take me.
Well, what if Sharon Heights has no landing field?
Oh, this friend of mine can land on a dime. Don't you worry.
Okay, it's your funeral, not mine.
Yeah, where's that medicine bottle we found in the kitchen?
No, right here. I'll take it up and have Nelson or Stone analyze it.
Good. And I'll call you if I run into trouble. If not, I'll have Dorf back here by 10 o'clock.
Good luck.
Thanks. Oh, and by the way, I wouldn't mention this to anyone but Professor Nelson and Dr. Stone.
I won't.
Okay, so long.
Leaving the University Athletic Building, Clark Kent cuts across the campus. Once the darkness has hemmed him in, he stops short, rips off his outer clothing, and leaps high into the air as Superman. Like some giant bird, he wheels in furious flight above the Metropolis railroad station, and then follows two gleaming steel rails into the darkness. Soon his sharp ears pick up the distant wail of a locomotive whistle, and his amazing eyes spot puffs of gray smoke below him. Swooping down, he lands gently on the roof of a swaying coach, drops to the iron platform between the cars, and in a moment has covered the brilliant costume of Superman with the disguising business suit of Clark Kent, reporter. Opening the door, he enters the car like any other passenger.
Tickets, please. All tickets.
Uh-oh, what am I going to do about a ticket? Oh, I know. I can pay the conductor in cash.
Tickets, please. All tickets.
I don't see anyone fitting Taylor's description of Dorf in this car. Chances are he's in the smoker. That's the next car back.
Ticket, please.
Oh, I'm sorry, conductor. I didn't have time to buy a ticket. I'm going to Sharon Heights. What's the fare?
Sharon Heights?
Yes.
It's 110.
Okay. Here you are, 110.
There, thank you.
Thank you. Try this next car, the smoking car. Now, let's see. If he's here, he shouldn't be hard to find. Short, plump, bald-headed. Yes, there's a man who answers the description perfectly. He's sitting alone. I'll join him. Pardon me, is this seat occupied?
No.
Thank you. This train goes to Sharon Heights, doesn't it?
Yes, next stop.
Oh, really? Wow, must be an express.
Yes, only 2 stops from Metropolis.
Oh, that's fine. Do you live in Sharon Heights?
Yes.
I've never been there. Is it a small town?
Not so small. There is very fine hospital in Sharon Heights.
Oh?
Children's hospital.
Oh, that's interesting. Very interesting.
Oh, yes, fine hospital.
You know, I think I've seen you someplace before. Your name is Kane, isn't it? George Kane?
No, you have made a mistake. My name is Dorf. Samuel Dorf.
That's funny. I was sure you were George Kane.
No, always I have been Samuel Dorf.
Well, I'm still sure I've seen you someplace. Where could it have been?
I don't know, mister. I don't go many places.
Do you work in Metropolis?
Yes, at the university.
Metropolis University?
Yes, I cook for football team training table.
Oh, that's where I've seen you. I'm a close friend of Spike Taylor, the coach.
Oh, yes, Mr. Taylor, fine fellow. You know Professor Nelson in laboratory and Dr. Stone?
Oh, why, yes.
Oh, both fine fellow. Professor Nelson and Dr. Stone.
Sharon Heights.
Well, I got to get off here.
I'm getting off, too. Well, it wasn't a very long ride.
No, only 1 hour. This is fast train. Some trains take hour and 40 minutes.
Uh-huh. Well, here we are. Watch your step now.
Right.
So this is Sharon Heights, huh? Everything seems closed up.
Yes, all except hospital. Good night, mister.
Which way are you going?
I walk up the hill.
Oh, well, I'm going that way, too. I'll keep you company.
Fine.
Yeah, I don't see a soul around here.
No, everybody go to bed early in Sharon Heights.
You come out here every night?
Oh, no. Just once a week. It costs too much to ride the train every night and in the morning, too.
Yes, I should think so. But you won't have to worry about that anymore, Dorf.
What do you mean? Hey, why do you hold my arm?
This is as far as we go.
No, I go to top of hill.
No, I'm afraid not. You're coming back to Metropolis with me.
You talk crazy, mister.
Drop the innocent act, Dorf. It doesn't work any longer.
Let go my arm, please.
You heard what I said, didn't you? We're going back to Metropolis.
Let go, I said, mister. You make me mad.
That won't help you a bit. Are you coming along quietly, or do I have to...
Oh, you want to fight? I fight.
Oh, so that's how it is, huh? You brought this on yourself, Dorf. Don't forget. Yeah, I didn't want to have to do that, but it serves a purpose. Now I can get him back to Metropolis the fast way, as Superman. Yeah, there we are. He's no lightweight, but I think I can make it. Up! Up! And away!
How is he, Professor Nelson?
He'll be all right, Mr. Taylor. It's a bad contusion on the jaw, but that ice bag will ease it. Pulse all right, Dr. Stone?
Yes. Normal.
Kent, you made a horrible mistake. This man Dorf is as innocent of wrongdoing as you or I.
I know, but everything pointed to him. Jimmy saw him pouring that liquid into the milk pitcher.
But I've told you, Mr. Kent, that was vitamin B1 compound. Dorf had orders to put it in the milk.
Well, there was no way of knowing that. And then his sudden departure.
I could have told you where he was going. To the Children's Hospital at Sharon Heights. That's the ironic part of all this, Kent.
What do you mean, Professor Nelson?
Dorf has a son of 15 or thereabouts. The boy is in the Sharon Heights Hospital, suffering from infantile paralysis.
What? You don't mean that.
Yes, unfortunately. I helped him get the boy admitted. And to have this happen on the one night of the week he visits his son.
Oh, I can't tell you how sorry I am.
I know you are, Kent. You meant well.
But bungled stupidly. If you had only stopped to ask...
Well, again, I say I'm sorry. I'll make it up to him somehow. Perhaps I'm wrong about the whole business. Maybe it is a wild goose chase.
I'll take it, Professor.
If you will, Taylor.
Hello? Who? Oh, just a minute. For you, Kent.
Oh, thank you. Hello? Yes, Mr. White. What? Read it to me, will you? Yes? Yes? Yes, I got it. Okay, I'll be at the office in 10 minutes. Well, I take back what I said, gentlemen, about my being wrong.
What do you mean, Mr. Kent?
Gentlemen, I have just received a message that convinces me...
Here's the note I told you about over the phone, Kent. Read it.
Okay, Mr. White. Clark Kent, you will meet me at the Cedar Crest Sanatorium at midnight tonight. I will give you some interesting information. Signed, Dr. Wilson.
What's the Cedar Crest Sanatorium?
It's one of the beneficiaries under the terms of Mr. Richards' will.
Where'd you get that information?
I got it tonight from John Quincy, the lawyer who drew the will.
I thought you told me he refused to cooperate.
Oh, well, I talked him into it.
Oh, you talked him into it.
Uh-huh.
I don't suppose you've seen a copy of the late edition of the Planet, have you?
No.
Remember? It's the newspaper for which you're supposed to be working.
If that's meant to be sarcastic.
Well, whatever gave you that idea? Now, here. Take a look at the front page, left-hand column.
Costumed burglar defies gravity. Red-caped second-story man leaps out window as police guns blaze. What is this?
Go ahead, read further.
A man with wings visited Metropolis today, broke into the 14th floor offices of John Quincy, senior partner of the law firm of Quincy, Gardner and Scott, forced Mr. Quincy to open his wall safe, and then amid a hail of police bullets, calmly leaped out of the open window and vanished from sight. Oh, that sounds like a fairy story.
Yes, doesn't it? But it isn't, Kent. There were 3 eyewitnesses, Quincy and 2 cops.
Now, look, Mr. White, in the first place, anyone who jumped out a 14th floor window would have to be picked up off the ground with a vacuum cleaner.
And that's what has the police running around in circles, tearing their hair. That's what nobody can understand.
In the second place, why would anyone break into an office dressed in a red cape and blue tights?
Who said anything about blue tights?
Why, I saw it mentioned in the story.
Oh. Well, maybe that kid is right.
What kid?
Jimmy Olsen. He says it was Superman.
Jimmy Wood. Well, it really doesn't matter now. This message is far more important. I'm going to keep that midnight appointment.
And I'm going with you.
Well, that's not at all necessary, Mr. White. You don't like to stay out late.
Don't you worry about what I like or don't like. I said I'm going with you.
Okay, you're the boss.
I wish you'd remember that more often. Now, come on, it's 10:30. It'll take us an hour to get there.
I'm ready.
We'll take my car. And, Kent, what happened after you brought Dorf, the cook, back to the university?
Oh, everything went to pieces. Dr. Stone said the medicine Dorf was putting in the milk was vitamin B1 compound. The men on the team get a dose of it every day. Then Professor Nelson made matters worse by telling me that Dorf's son was in the children's hospital at Sharon Heights suffering from infantile paralysis. That's why he had to catch a train to visit the boy.
Well, I must say you managed to mess things up beautifully. And yet, you still think someone's trying to ruin the team?
Yes, I can't believe the collapse of every man on the squad last week was accidental or a coincidence. Things don't happen that way. After all, any one of the three beneficiaries might be very interested in keeping the university from getting the $3 million legacy.
Well, who are the other two besides the sanatorium?
Clark, a half-brother of Richards, and George Kane, a nephew. Clark lives out west and is independently rich. Kane, according to last reports, was working on an oil tanker.
I see. And you think someone's trying to put the football team out of the commission to get hold of the money?
That's what it looks like. Oh, slow up a minute. There's a sign up ahead. Cedar Crest Sanatorium, 1/4 mile. Turn left here.
What was the bird's name up here?
Wilson, Dr. Wilson. He probably runs the place. Oh, that must be it. The big stone building on the hill there.
I'd have to be pretty sick to come up to this deserted neck of the woods.
Now, there's the driveway between those cedar trees.
Yeah, I see it is.
Well, here we are.
What time is it?
11:45.
15 minutes early. I don't suppose it makes any difference.
No, let's go in.
Looks like a morgue more than a sanatorium.
Doesn't seem to be any bell.
A knock.
All right.
How come Richards named this place in his will?
I don't know. Maybe he spent some time here. Maybe they pulled him through an illness. Oh, somebody's coming.
Yes? Who is it?
Mr. Kent, I have an appointment with Dr. Wilson.
Just a moment.
Come in, please. Oh, there's another gentleman with you.
Yes, Mr. White, the editor of my newspaper.
Oh, yeah.
Come in.
Thank you.
Step this way, please. Dr. Wilson is busy at the moment, but if you will be seated here in the waiting room, I will tell him you have arrived. Mr. Kent, what is the other gentleman's name?
Perry White.
Thank you. Tell Dr. Wilson.
All she needs is a broomstick to make her the best Halloween witch I've ever seen. What a face.
She can't help her face, Mr. White.
I suppose not. And I'd hate to bump into her on a dark night. Scare the living daylights out of me. Did you notice her eyes? Look like little black shoe buttons.
I imagine she's the matron or manager. Here she comes.
Dr. Wilson will see you in his private office.
Oh.
Follow me, please.
All right.
Through this hallway. This is Dr. Wilson's office. Step inside, please.
Hey, wait a minute. She's locked us in.
You're right. This isn't an office at all. It's a bare room with 2 chairs. There aren't even any windows.
Hey, open up. Open up, I said.
Don't excite yourselves, gentlemen.
Where's that voice coming from?
That grill in the ceiling. There's a loudspeaker behind it.
And a microphone as well, Mr. Kent. I can hear everything you say. But unfortunately, I will not be able to speak with you again until next Saturday.
Saturday? What's he talking about?
Both you and Mr. Kent are to be my guests until next Saturday, Mr. White.
That voice, I've heard it before.
Whoever you are, you're crazy.
Oh, no. Just cautious. But have no fears. No harm will come to you. The room you are in is an oxygen chamber used to treat severe cases of asthma. It is soundproof and airproof. Your meals will be served you through the conveyor at the base of the wall on your right. You will be released late Saturday night.
What sort of nonsense is this?
It isn't nonsense, Mr. White. He plans to keep us here until after the game on Saturday, the game he wants Metropolis to lose.
Precisely, Mr. Kent. You owe this temporary inconvenience to your own inquisitive nature. I warned you not to interfere, but you failed to take heed.
Who are you? What's your name?
You may call me Dr. Wilson.
I'll call you a lot of other things before I'm through.
Go right ahead.
Now, look here.
Just a minute, Mr. White. Let me talk to you. In the first place, your name isn't Dr. Wilson. In the second place, what do you hope to gain by keeping us here?
You know exactly what I hope to gain, Mr. Kent. $1 million.
So, you admit you're the man behind the collapse of the Metropolis team.
Why not? It's too late to do anything about it. Too late for you. There won't be 11 fighting men out on that field Saturday afternoon. There'll be 11 days groggy excuses for football players.
Why, you dirty snake in the grass.
That won't help you now, Mr. White.
I'll break this door down.
Don't waste your time. It's solid steel.
Oh, if I could only get my hands on you.
If wishes were horses, beggars would ride. Well, gentlemen, I must leave you. If you wish anything, press the button to the left of the door. Good night.
Wait, come back.
He's gone.
Now what do we do? You got me into this.
Just take it easy, Mr. White.
What day is this?
Tuesday. No, wait. It's after midnight. It's Wednesday.
And do you mean to say we're going to be cooped up in this dungeon till Saturday? 4 days? Not on your life.
Wait, give me a chance to think. That voice. I know it, but I can't place it.
Oh, what's the difference? We've got to get out of here. Yeah, I'll press that button. I'll press it until the cows come home. It rings a bell.
Yes. What do you want?
Open the door.
Don't be a fool.
Okay, then I'll keep ringing.
Stop that. Take your finger off that button.
Not on your life.
Then we will have to put you both to sleep for a while.
What's that?
Some sort of gas pouring into the room.
It's choking me. Stop it. Stop it.
Remember, don't press that bell button.
I'm sorry, but we will.
Kent, stop. Don't. You see what you've done? Kent! The gas! It's pouring in. Kent, stop it. Take your finger off that button. We'll suffocate.
No. They can't bulldoze us.
Fool that you are. What can you gain? The gas will put you to sleep, and you will awake with your head aching.
Listen to me. I demanded you. I demanded you.
Your friend has succumbed. Now do you see what will happen to you if you continue to ring that bell?
You can't frighten me. You can't.
You're weakening, aren't you? You can't breathe. Your legs are becoming like water. Just a few seconds more.
I told you, you can't. You can't. Oh.
Perhaps next time you will know better. Sleep, my friends. Sleep.
Sorry, lady, but I'm not the least bit sleepy. I'll just give you a chance to get out of earshot, and then we'll see who should know better next time. Poor Mr. White. I hated to see him gasp for breath and then collapse, but it was the only way. Well, guess it's safe now. Safe enough for Clark Kent to become
Superman. This door shouldn't be too hard to open, even if it is solid steel. The noise will probably bring that witch woman running, but it'll be too late then. Here goes. It's pretty tough. Well, a little more effort and it should buckle. There, that does it. Now let's see whether old Hatchet Face heard that crash. I'll just step back in the shadows here and handle her as Clark Kent. Here she comes.
Oh,
Surprised?
oh, where are you?
Right here, madam. Oh, no, not so fast. I want to talk things over with you.
Let go. Let go,
Not
Meg.
until you answer a few questions.
I don't know anything. Let me go.
You were pretty cocky just a few minutes ago when you shot that sleeping gas into the chamber.
How did you get out?
Never mind that now. I'm out. And if you value your neck, you'll talk and talk fast. Who was the man who spoke to us through that loudspeaker?
Dr. Wilson.
You know you're lying. There's no Dr. Wilson here. Who was it?
I told you, Dr. Wilson.
Who owns this sanatorium?
Dr. Wilson.
See, you've been well trained. All right, where is Dr. Wilson?
He's gone.
Where did he go?
I don't know.
Now, look, lady, this is serious business. A matter of life or death for many people. Where can I find Dr. Wilson or whatever his name is?
I told you I don't know. What more do you want?
I want the truth.
That's what you've got.
All right, we'll have to use other methods. Perhaps the police can get you to talk.
Haven't done anything?
No, nothing except locking 2 people in an oxygen chamber and attempting to put them to sleep with gas, that's all.
He told me to do it.
Who told you?
Doc Wilson.
Almost forgot yourself that time, didn't you?
No.
Oh, Mr. White's regaining consciousness. Now you're in for it. He runs the most powerful newspaper in the country. He'll see to it that you go to jail.
No, he can't. I'm just being paid.
By whom?
I told you. Dr. Wilson.
Kent, where are you?
Right here, Mr. White. All right, step inside, lady, and don't try to get away.
Kent, what happened? That gas.
It's all over now, Mr. White.
Oh, over. Oh, my head. It's splitting.
Here, I'll help you get up. There we are.
Kent, that woman. She's the one who locked us in here.
I know.
She turned the gas on.
Yes.
I was only following orders.
Whose orders?
No sense asking her that, Mr. White. She has a stock answer. Dr. Wilson.
Yes, that's true.
Kent, I don't understand this. Who opened that steel door?
I did.
But how?
Evidently it wasn't locked properly, but don't worry about that. We have more important things to think about. This mysterious Dr. Wilson admitted he was the man behind the attempt to ruin the Metropolis football team. He must be located. She says he left.
You can search all over. He is not here.
Where did he go?
She says she doesn't know.
I don't.
Well, maybe someone else around here does.
There isn't anybody else. I'm here all alone.
You mean the sanatorium isn't in operation?
There have been no patients here for 3 years.
Then what's that?
Someone's knocking at the front door.
Martha, open up.
Oh, that's our friend, Dr. Wilson. Evidently he returned for something.
No, it is not. You are wrong.
Martha!
We'll see how wrong I am. Come on, let's let him in.
I am not supposed to admit strangers.
This isn't a stranger. Listen to him.
Martha, where are you?
He's calling you by your first name. All right, come on, or do I have to drag you?
Martha, open this door.
Go ahead, open it.
I told you I am not supposed
Stop
to.
stalling. Open the door.
All right.
Martha!
They got out of the chamber. Drive away, quickly!
You hear that? She kept him off.
Drive away before they
Should have known you. Warn him. Get the door open, Mr. White. Hurry, I'll keep her quiet. Why, you...
He's pulling out of the driveway.
Now, we'll follow him, and you're coming along with us, madam. Police might want to talk to you.
No, you can't do this.
There's nothing we can't do. Come on.
You let go of me. Let go of me. Let go, I tell you. Let go.
Open the front door, Mr. White.
Yes.
All right, in you go.
You'll pay for this.
I'll take my chances. Okay, Mr. White, you get in back.
Right.
I'll handle the wheel. Which way did he go?
Out the driveway and along the main road to Metropolis.
Okay, hold on.
Swinging out of the sanatorium driveway, Clark Kent hits the smooth concrete of the main road, traveling at 70 miles an hour. Far in the distance, the twin taillights of the car he is following gleam like red fireflies in the darkness. Gripping the wheel, Kent jams the gas pedal to the floor.
Is that the car up ahead, Kent?
I think so. Traveling fast, but unless we run into trouble, we'll stay right with him.
You are making a big mistake. That is not Dr. Wilson's car.
I'll worry about that.
I saw the license number, or at least part of it, as he pulled out of the driveway. It was S484. Now, if we can get close enough, we can tell.
Watch it. Curve coming up.
You're driving like a maniac. We'll all be killed. I demand that you stop and let me out.
Sorry, but you'll have to put up with it. Not nervous, are you?
Yes, I am.
Well, you weren't nervous when you ushered us into that oxygen chamber and locked the door. You weren't nervous when you filled the chamber with sleep-producing gas.
How many times must I tell you I had to do it? Those were my orders.
Yeah, well, this is my order. Sit tight and watch the fun.
We seem to be creeping up on him, Kent. Don't you think so?
Yes, he's slowing down a little. Probably feels he's not being followed. I'll try and pass him. Hold on.
See his license plate yet?
No, not quite.
You're doing 80.
Yes, that's right.
I don't like it.
Well, you're going to dislike a lot of things before we're through. Ah, that's the car, Mr. White. I can see the license plate now. S484237. I'll pass him.
He won't get over.
Well, he'll get over, or I'll know the reason why.
Look out, he's swerving.
Oh, I'll fix him for that.
Kent, there's a hairpin curve. He's going off the road straight into that tree.
Oh, no! Oh, no!
I told you.
Oh, never mind what you told me. Come on, Mr. White.
He hit that tree going 60. He's done for.
Looks like it. No, wait a minute. He's still breathing. Here, I'll get this buckle door open and you drag him out.
Okay. You better work fast.
All right. There. It's clear.
Yeah.
I got it. Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now.
Scott! Do you know who it is?
No. Who?
Dr. Stone. Professor Nelson's assistant at the medical laboratory.
Too late. No antidote in this country. Way down Central America. Too late.
Dr. Stone, what are you talking about? Antidote for what?
Football team. Can't win Saturday without antidote. Too late to get it. Way down Central America. Savage tribe. Too late.
It's all over.
What was he babbling about?
He wasn't babbling. He was telling us that the men on the Metropolis football team have already received a dose of the weakening potion that will make them dazed and helpless next Saturday.
What was this about Central America?
I think he meant the only antidote could be found in Central America, and that we were too late to get it. And unfortunately, I'm afraid...
Kent, what's this all about? If you dragged me out of bed at this hour of the morning to listen to another Daily Planet publicity stunt, I feel sorry for you.
This isn't a publicity stunt, Commissioner, not by a long shot.
Then let's have it.
I think you'd better tell the Commissioner about the legacy, Professor Nelson.
As you wish, Mr. Kent. About a year ago, Commissioner Reynolds, one of our old graduates passed away, leaving the medical school of the university $3 million. However, the legacy depended on our ability to raise $500,000 through our own efforts.
I see.
We managed to collect $300,000, and we were depending on the success of our football team to earn the balance by winning every game and thereby securing an invitation to play at the
Rose Bowl.
Yes, the Rose Bowl. However, during last Saturday's football game, I understand the members of the Metropolis team suffered a strange lassitude. They were in a state of semi-paralysis. In fact, one of them, the captain, collapsed.
How come?
Well, that's what puzzled me, Commissioner. I attended the game and watched the men on the team go to pieces. It almost looked as though they'd been drugged.
Drugged?
Yes, Commissioner. I was at the game with Clark Kent. Time, I thought nothing of it, but, well, in the light of developments...
What developments, Miss Lane?
I'll tell you. After the team went to pieces and almost lost the game, Bob Harris, the boy who collapsed, was examined and nothing was found. He recovered quickly, and Professor Nelson and Spike Taylor, the coach, decided there was nothing to it.
But that didn't satisfy you, did it, Kent?
I should say not.
I didn't think so. Go ahead.
Well, to make a long story short, I did some private investigating and discovered that if the university didn't get the $3 million, others would. One of the others was the Cedar Crest Sanatorium, owned by Dr. Elihu Stone, who died in an automobile accident on the county road less than an hour ago. Miss Hawkins here was employed by Dr. Stone.
I never knew him by that name. He called himself Dr. Wilson.
Well, that's unimportant now.
How does Stone fit into the football team picture, Kent?
In this way, Commissioner. It was Stone who saw to it that the men on the team received a daily dose of some strange stupefying potion that was supposed to be vitamin B1 compound. It was Stone who examined Bob Harris and pronounced him perfectly well. And finally, it was Stone who hoped, by ruining the football team, to have the university forfeit the $3 million so his sanatorium could claim its share.
But you say Stone died in an accident. We can't arrest him now.
All we're interested in, Commissioner, is safeguarding the team for next Saturday's game. They've already had 3 doses of this potion. We don't know what it is. Professor Nelson says it defies analysis. But before Dr. Stone died, he said something about an antidote, that it could be found in Central America, but that we were too late.
You see, Commissioner Reynolds, we have no way of determining the reaction of this potion, as Mr. Kent calls it.
I still don't see what the police department can do for you, Professor.
Well, Miss Hawkins was working for Dr. Stone, Commissioner. If anyone knows anything about the potion or its antidote, she does.
Why do you keep repeating that? I told you...
Just a minute. How long were you working for Stone?
I wasn't working for Stone. I was working for Dr. Wilson.
Aren't they one and the same person?
Yes, they are.
Well, Miss Hawkins, how long did you work for him?
I can't remember. Possibly 10 years.
And for 10 years you didn't know his real name? Do you expect me to believe that?
I still don't think his name was Stone.
What about that, Kent? Maybe the name Stone was fictitious.
Well, what difference does it make? Stone and Wilson were the same man. This woman, if she worked for Stone or Wilson for 10 years, should have known what he was doing.
He never told me anything.
Oh, that's all she keeps saying, Commissioner. Something must be done to make her talk.
What do you expect me to say?
Now, look, Miss Hawkins. If everything Kent says is true,
we can hold you as an accessory to the fact.
What?
If the boys on the football team were drugged, you're just as responsible as Dr. Stone or Wilson or whatever his name was. Is that clear?
All right. All right. But I was only following orders. I haven't done anything.
No, I knew this was going to happen sooner or later.
Please, let me handle it. There now, Miss Hawkins. Get a grip on
Don't let
yourself.
them do this to me. Don't let them.
She's hysterical,
No.
Commissioner. May I take her into the next room?
Okay.
Now, come with me. There.
Don't you let them torture me. Don't you let them torture me. I haven't done anything. I haven't done it.
I'm sorry we have to go to such ends, Commissioner.
Oh, this is nothing, Professor Nelson. The only question is, how do we know she can help us? Maybe she hasn't any information.
It doesn't seem likely. After all, if she's worked with him for 10 years, she certainly must have known his plan.
Tell me, Kent, just what is it you want to know?
Well, when we pulled Dr. Stone out of the automobile wreck, he was in a semi-coma. He said something about there being an antidote, that it could only be found in Central America, and that we were too late.
And you want to know where in Central America the antidote can be found?
Exactly.
What good will it do you? This is Wednesday. The game is on Saturday. It takes 2 days or more to get to Panama by fast plane.
I'm not worried about that. If I know where to find the antidote, I'll get it and bring it back.
That makes nice conversation, Kent, but...
Miss Hawkins has something to tell you. There now, Miss Hawkins. That's it. Just take it easy. Sit in this chair. It's more comfortable. There we are.
Well, what have you to say, Miss Hawkins?
I'm sorry for creating a scene. I didn't mean to.
That's quite all right.
Miss Lane has explained things to me. I see them now in a different light. I'm going to try and help you.
I'm glad to hear that.
You want to know about the white powder, don't you?
White powder?
Yes, the white powder that Dr. Wilson brought back from Central America. You see, his name was Wilson. Andrew Wilson.
Tell us about the white powder.
Yes, I'm coming to that. It was given to him by the chief of a jungle tribe, he said. There were 2 small packages. One with white powder, the other with brown crystals. That was the antidote. Somehow it was misplaced and never found. All he had was the powder. Someday he hoped to return to get more of the antidote. But he never did.
Did he ever name the powder, Miss Hawkins? Did he ever call it anything?
Never in my presence. All I knew was what he told me, that if the powder was dissolved in liquid, 3 doses would be enough to numb a man's brain within 72 hours.
3 doses? That's just what each man on the squad's been given. And 72 hours will make it Saturday.
Where did Stone or Wilson get this powder, Miss Hawkins? Where in Central America?
He told me, but I've forgotten.
Try to remember. It's important.
She doesn't have to remember. Wilson kept a diary. It's all down in black and white.
Where's the diary?
In a drawer of his private desk, the sanatorium.
Miss Hawkins and I are driving back to get it, don't we?
Yes, I am certain it has all the information you want.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'll go with you.
I'd hang around if I were you, Kent.
Miss Hawkins and I don't need company. We'll be back shortly. Now, come along, Miss Hawkins. My car, we should reach your apartment in a couple of minutes. Here we are. That didn't take so long, did it?
No. You drive very well, Miss Lane.
Thank you.
Be careful of these steps. Some of them are cracked.
Why, the door's wide open.
Yes. Your friend, Mr. Kent, was in a hurry to leave. And the lights are on. I'll just close the door now. It's a little chilly. There, that's better. Now, I think we'll find the diary in this desk drawer. Seem to remember seeing it here. All right, Miss Lane. Don't move.
Why are you pointing a gun at me?
What do you take me for, a fool? Do you think I'm going to run the risk of letting $1 million slip through my fingers? Andrew is dead. That money belongs to me.
What are you talking about?
I'll tell you what I'm talking about. Andrew Wilson was my brother. My name isn't Hawkins. It's Wilson. Martha Wilson. We planned this together, Andrew and I. We planned it carefully, and there isn't going to be any slip now.
Then there isn't any diary.
Oh, yes, there's a diary. But I'm going to burn it. I'm going to burn it before your very eyes. I'm going to let the pages that tell where Andrew got the white powder and the antidote shrivel into ashes. That $1 million belongs to me, and I'm going... I'm warning you, Miss Lane. Don't move, or I'll shoot to kill.
Why are you doing this, Miss Hawkins?
Don't call me Miss Hawkins anymore. I told you who I am. I'm Andrew Wilson's sister. We planned this together. It's not going to fail, even if Andrew is dead.
Then there isn't any diary. You lied to us.
No, there's a diary, all right. And it tells the location of the tribe, too. And it gives the chief's name. But you'll never see it. Nobody will see it. I'm going to burn it before your very eyes. I'm going to let you watch the pages shrivel up and turn to ashes.
But why? Why are you doing this?
Because that money belongs to me. I'm no fool. I know that if the university doesn't claim the $3 million, the sanatorium will get part of it. 1 million of it. And I'm the sanatorium now that Andrew is dead. Is that reason enough?
No, it isn't. I told you what the university was going to do with the money if they got it. I told you about all the thousands of children who would benefit. Doesn't that mean anything to you?
You can't talk me out of it with all your pretty speeches. Don't try.
I'm not making pretty speeches. There's nothing pretty about infantile paralysis. Nothing pretty about boys and girls who aren't able to walk and run and play.
Stand back. Don't come any closer or
I'm not coming any closer. Why don't you put that revolver back in the desk and listen to me?
I'd be a smart one if I did, wouldn't I?
But you don't know what you're doing to the lives of thousands of children.
And what about my life? Isn't that important?
Yes, of course it is. I'd like to help you.
You must think I'm out of my mind. Wait. I'll show you whether I am or not. I'll show you Andrew's diary, and then I'll burn it. There, look at it. All the information you and your fine friends want but won't ever get. It's going to crumble into ashes. Nothing but ashes.
Martha, listen to me.
Don't you Martha me. I know you're kind. Newspaper reporter, always snooping around. Stand back, I tell you.
Stand back as far as I can get against the wall.
All right. Now, we'll start a fire. The big one. To make sure everything burns. First, some paper. Now, a little kindling wood. And set a match to it. Look at it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
The bright orange flames leap high and cast a weird light on Martha Wilson's face as she prepares to consign the precious pages of her brother's diary to the fire. Meanwhile, back at the university, Clark Kent has a strange feeling that all is not right. To satisfy himself, he's put through a call to the sanatorium, and the phone rings as Martha Wilson opens the diary.
Who's calling at this hour of the morning? I'm not going to answer it. Let it ring. It may be important. Can't tell. All right. But don't you move. Hello?
Hello, Miss Hawkins?
I thought so. It's your friend, Clark Kent.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, Mr. Kent. We're just about to leave.
Clark, help! Wait, you...
Smart, Miss Lane, but it won't work even if he did hear you. He's 50 miles away. I could burn 1 million diaries in the time it would take him to get here, and there's only one.
Well, just let me say one
You
thing.
said enough. Now, watch the pages turn to ashes, one at a time. 1, 2.
Stop it. You're mad. You don't know what you're doing.
3, 4.
Clark, You can't be. Clark, the diary, take it from her. You can't have it. Into the fire. There.
I'll get it.
Don't you burn your hand, Clark.
I got it. It just scorched.
No, it's burned. It's ashes. It's nothing but ashes. I can tell. She's out of her mind, poor thing.
I think you're right. Keep an eye on her. I'll call Reynolds and have him send an ambulance.
I don't care. I'll get $1 million all for myself.
Yes, of course you will, Martha. Now, here, sit down and rest. That's fine.
Metropolis 4860, please. What happened here, Lois?
She pulled a gun out of the drawer and her whole attitude changed. That crying back to the university was just an act. Do you know who she is?
What do you mean?
She's Stone, or Wilson's sister.
Hello, Professor Nelson. This is Clark Kent. Yes, will you tell Commissioner Reynolds to send a police ambulance to the Cedar Crest Sanatorium at once? I can't explain now, but I will when I see you. Yes, that's right. Thanks. Goodbye. Did you say she's Wilson's sister?
Yes, and she knew all about the Richards' will and the money coming to the sanatorium. My heart sank when she began throwing the pages of that diary into the fire one by one.
How many are missing?
Only the first 4, and by the way, how did you get here so fast? You called, and then less than a minute later, you opened the door.
I'll explain that some other time. I want to look at this diary now.
Oh, burn, nothing but ashes.
Let's see here. Here it is. June 12th, 1935. Finally convinced the chief of the Nawan tribe to give me a small supply of the powder and crystals. The Nawan tribe is located 12 miles from Pernambuco on a river known as the Ataba. From what I can learn, they are the only tribe of Central American Indians who have discovered this strange narcotic and its antidote. That's it, all right.
Yes, but what can you do about it now?
I don't know, but I'll do something. Look, do you mind waiting here with her until the ambulance arrives?
Well, I don't particularly like the idea, but if I have to...
Every minute counts, Lois. I must get back to town.
But why can't you take us with you?
Well, I just can't. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, it must be.
Oh, please understand.
Go ahead. Don't bother making excuses.
Oh, you're a good sport. So long.
Bye.
There's absolutely no way of telling her I didn't come by car. As it is, I'll have plenty to explain. Oh, that can wait. Right now, I'm going to take the longest trip I've ever attempted.
As Superman to Pernambuco, Central America. There's one chance in a million of success, but I've got to take it. Up, up, and away!
Like some giant bird, Superman wings high into the air, hovers for a moment as his keen eyes take bearings, and then, almost with the speed of light, streaks southward over flat plains and rolling hills, over the deep blue waters of tropical seas, high above snow-capped mountain peaks, and down into deep valleys where the sun burns like a ball of fire. Finally, he comes to rest at the edge of a matted jungle. Off in the distance, the gray mud houses of a settlement mark an outpost of civilization. Assuming the disguise of Clark Kent, he walks toward the town, and an hour later is seated at the desk of John Carter, manager of a Pernambuco rubber plantation, telling him his mission.
So, you see, Mr. Carter, no effort must be spared to locate that Indian tribe and secure some of the crystals that will serve as an antidote.
That's an amazing story, Mr. Kent. Almost unreal.
Oh, it's real enough. I can vouch for that.
Where did you say you landed your plane?
Oh, about 5 miles from here on a flat piece of land. A perfect spot.
Well, I don't know whether it's quite safe there. The natives are extremely curious and destructive.
Oh, I think it's all right. I wouldn't worry about it. The important thing is, how can I get to this Nawan tribe?
Well, you'll never get there alone, Mr. Kent, and if you did, you'd never come back.
Why?
The Nawans are still headhunters, despite every effort that's been made to civilize them. I know of only one man who can help you. The only white man in this part of the country who dare lead you to the Nawan tribe.
Can I get hold of him? Time is important, you know.
Well, I think we can find him. He's a strange character, Mr. Kent. Nobody knows what brought him down here, even. Nobody knows exactly what he does, either. A little trading with the natives, a little stealing, perhaps. A little of everything. Sometimes he can't be trusted, and sometimes he's the soul of honesty. I've heard that he's wanted for murder in England, robbery in the United States, and a dozen assorted crimes in a dozen assorted countries. Of course, none of it may be true. We'll just have to take your chances.
Where can I find him? What's his name?
He lives in a little shack down in the native quarter. His name is Pango Pete.
Oh?
Was you calling me, Mr. Carter?
Pete, were you listening at the window?
I just happened to be sauntering by and heard what sounded like a mighty good imitation of my name, that's all.
Oh? All right, take a chair. This is Mr. Kent, Pete. He's down from the States.
Right.
There you go.
I'm wondering how you came down.
Oh, so you knew he was here.
Man's got eyes, ain't he?
I came down by private plane, Pete.
Where is it?
I landed at back a ways.
Maybe.
What do you mean, maybe? Mr. Kent isn't in the habit of being insulted, Pete.
Oh, no insult meant. Just doubting his word. People doubt mine, I'm doubting his.
You have a perfect right to, Pete. Well, let's talk business. I want to hire you to take me to the Nawan tribe.
Nawan tribe, eh?
Yes, and there isn't much time to lose.
Too bad.
Well, what do you mean?
Nawan tribe right where they used to be.
I don't quite understand.
They moved on.
Don't you know where they are?
No. Well, I guess I'll be getting along.
Oh, Pete, now, can't you help Mr. Kent?
I might. If he comes down to my shack after dark tonight. Who's there?
Mr. Kent.
Come on in.
Good evening.
Close the door and slip the bowl, eh? Have a seat. There ain't nothing but that rush-bottom stool, but it'll hold you likely.
Thank you. You know why I'm here, of course.
Well, it ain't for your help, that's certain.
You're quite right, it isn't. You remember when you met me in Mr. Carter's office, you told me to come down to your shack after dark, alone.
You didn't have no trouble finding it, did you?
Oh, not at all.
What did His Royal Highness Mr. Carter tell you to do? Follow your nose?
Why, I don't think this shack is so bad. It's probably very comfortable.
Good enough for Pango Pete, it is. Plenty good enough. Well, what's on your mind, mister?
I want you to take me to the Nawan tribe.
Oh, just like that, eh? Without no by your leave or fuddly-duds. Take me to the Nawan tribe.
Of course, I intend paying you for it.
Oh, and that shows your heart's in the right place, don't it?
Now, look here, Pango, whatever your name is.
Now, me bully boy, keep hold on your temper. Mind you're in the jungle now. We go slow here.
But I haven't time to go slow.
Hey, you better find time. There's plenty of it around.
There's only one thing I'd like to know. Are you or are you not interested in earning some money?
Well, now, that depends on how hard I gotta work for it. Maybe His Highness didn't tell you, but I'm retired.
Yes, Mr. Carter mentioned something about it.
Yes, I've been retired for years, living off the fat of the land and taking orders from nobody.
Then you're not interested in making some money?
Well, I might be influenced into coming out of retirement.
All right, then let's get down to business. All you'll have to do is take me to the Nawan tribe. I'll handle the rest.
You've got a nice head, mister. Good shock of air. It'll set fine on a pole.
What are you talking about?
Slip that bolt and open the door. Open it gentle now. Them Indians ain't so good. Hear that?
I hear some drums off in the distance.
Nawan tom-tom. That's what they are.
But you told Mr. Carter and myself that the Nawans had moved on.
Close the door. Bolt it.
You did say the Nawans had moved on, didn't you?
Pango Pete's no fool, mister. He does his talking in private. Sure, I said they moved on. You know why?
Why?
Because the government's after them, that's why. They like to wipe them all out, they would. And I ain't leading them to no slaughter, I ain't. Not Pango Pete.
Why does the government want to wipe them out?
For a good reason, my bully boy. For the reason them tom-toms is going night and day. For the reason your head ain't safe if them Nawans got so much as an eye on you.
Oh, you mean they're headhunters?
That's precisely what I mean.
Well, I don't think that'll bother me.
Oh, you don't you? Well, that's where you're mistaken. It'll bother you till they slice off your head. And then it won't bother you no more.
Well, I wouldn't worry about it if I were you. How much do you want to lead me to the tribe?
What would you be wanting from them?
That isn't your concern. All you have to do is lead me to them and present me to the chief.
Oh, that ain't a great deal if you say it fast, is it? Present me to old Chief Sangha, eh? Sooner said than done, mister. Take it from me.
All right, then let's forget the entire matter.
Hold on, bully boy. Pango Pete never said it couldn't be done, did he? Well, did he?
No, but you...
Well, there you are. Jumping to conclusions.
Well, can you do it or can't you?
Well, that all depends.
On what?
Well, in a way of speaking, and to put it bluntly, saving no graces and mincing no words.
All right. Come to the point. How much do you want?
What about $500?
You're hired.
Huh?
I said you're hired. When do we start?
Well, not till morning. But I gotta have a deposit. I gotta have a deposit to bring me out of retirement.
All right, here's 100 now. The balance will be paid when you present me to the chief.
Fair enough, me bully boy. Fair enough.
What time in the morning do we start?
Any time you say. Pango Pete's at your service now, he is.
All right, make it dawn. I don't want to waste any time. I'll meet you here.
Good enough. Now, before we go, maybe it'd be best for me to know what you're after with them no-ons. It wouldn't be magic powder, would it? What they call tawana?
What is this magic powder?
Well, it makes a man groggy, it does, like strong drink. Them Nawans, they mix it with coconut milk and swill it down.
How do they get over the effects of this tawana?
Well, they got something else they takes. Looks like brown sugar. Sets them up fine.
That's what I want. Some of those brown crystals. What do they call it?
You got me.
Well, do you think we can get some? A lot depends on it.
Well, there ain't nothing like trying, mister. Who's there?
Mr. Carter.
Hold up a minute. Open for him, will you?
Sure.
Well, I was just wondering whether you got down here all right, Mr. Kent.
Sure, no trouble at all.
Come in, Mr. Carter. There ain't nothing that's going to bite you.
Kent, did you arrange to locate that Indian tribe?
Yes, Pango Pete and I starting at dawn.
That we are, bright and early.
Never you dreamed that you'd be picking up a little honest money, did you, Pete?
Oh, no, Mr. Carter, that ain't fair. You're giving this gentleman here the wrong impression.
Well, what are you going to do with your money?
Well, I hadn't given it much thought, and that's the truth.
I imagine $500 will last a long time down here.
$500?
Like I was saying, I don't
Pete.
think... Was you speaking to me, Mr. Carter?
What do you mean by charging Mr. Kent $500 to take him through the jungle?
Oh, it ain't none of my doing, Mr. Carter.
Oh, he's right. I offered $500.
Kent, you're out of your mind. $10 would be a lot of money. He hasn't seen the color of a greenback for months.
Oh, no, that ain't true, and you know it. I seen one 2 days ago, I did.
Oh? Where?
I seen it in your hand.
Oh, now look here, Kent. This man is a derelict. He lives from hand to mouth on what he can beg, borrow, and steal.
Oh, no, that ain't true. That ain't true, Mr.
You just say that you don't steal?
No, I don't beg.
I really have no objection to paying him $500, Mr. Carter, if he can get what I want. It's worth it.
Now, you see, Mr. Carter, there's a gentleman for you. I takes me hat off to you, Mr. Bully Boy. You're born to the purple, and make no mistake about it.
Don't be a fool, Kent. It's like throwing money away.
Well, I feel this way about it, Mr. Carter. If $500 can get something that's worth $3 million, why worry?
What's that you said?
Never mind what he said. All right, it's your business, Kent, and I suppose you know what you're doing. As for you, Pete, you should be thoroughly ashamed of yourself.
Oh, there you go, bliming me again. What have I done? I'm sitting here peaceful, minding me own business, when a respectable gentleman knocks at me door, enters me domicile, and out of the goodness of his heart offers me a fair price for me labor.
You call that a fair price? $500? For what?
Well, for getting me out of me retirement, you might say.
Yes, you can laugh. Well, come on, Kent. I've made arrangements to put you up at the company house.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Mr. Carter.
Yes?
You ain't right happy, are you, Mr. Carter? That wouldn't be right, you know.
Since when are you the judge of right and wrong?
Oh, you're painting me blacker for this gentleman, you are. It ain't like you, not a bit, it ain't.
I don't think I could paint you any blacker than you've painted yourself. Good night.
I'll see you at dawn, Pete.
Righto. You've run yourself into a bit of luck, Peter, you have. A bit of prime luck. That bully boy's got it just for the taking. You're not going to stop with no $500, Peter. You can lie to that. You heard him say the stuff was worth to him, didn't you? $3 million. I never knew there was that much money in the world, did you? Ah, but there is, and waiting to be took. He's got to come across with a lot more before you take him to old Chief Sangha. 500 ain't a drop in the bucket. Listen to them now on tom-toms a-beating. They sound good tonight, don't they, Petey? Maybe old Chief Sangha has got himself some new head. Maybe he'll have one more.
Do those tom-toms continue all through the night, Mr. Carter?
Yes, night and day. That's been going on for almost a week.
Pango Pete said they were Nawan drums. Some sort of ceremony.
Oh, he was probably lying. He told us this afternoon that the Nawan tribe had moved on. Those drums aren't more than 10 miles away. You know, Kent, I can't get over your offering to pay him $500 to take you to the tribe.
Well, it really isn't important.
Well, that's where we disagree. There's something you don't quite understand, Kent. Something that goes beyond money.
What do you mean?
Simply this. Pango Pete is a human derelict. One of those men who's committed a crime against society. No longer has a place among civilized people. That's why he's down here in Pernambuco, because in these jungles, even the lowest of white men have standing.
Well, aren't you being a little unfair? Seems quite harmless.
He is to everyone but himself.
petty thieveries are unimportant. His willingness to permit himself to sink lower and lower is certainly none of our business. Yet in the short year that I've known him, I've somehow felt that there was good in the man if someone could only bring it out.
Yet you blame me for trying to help him by giving him some money.
Well, you haven't helped him. I may be wrong, but I'd be willing to wager that $1 would buy Pango Pete's honest assistance sooner than $500. You offered him a large sum of money for a job he knows isn't worth anywhere near that amount. The result, he's suspicious. You so willingly pay $500, he reasons he should get $1,000 or more.
Yes, I see your point, but my greatest interest is getting my hands on that antidote at any cost. As I said once before, if $500 will safeguard $3 million, I'm all for spending it.
All I can say is I hope you haven't made a mistake. I hope he isn't misleading you. I'm quite certain those drums we've been hearing are not now-on drums. They're too close. Those headhunters rarely come within 20 miles of a settlement. They know the government has set a price on them. I think Pango Pete's lying.
And he better not be. I haven't much time, as you know. That antidote must be back in Metropolis before Saturday. What's that?
Oh, sounds like a cheetah. The jungle is full of them. They're vicious little beasts.
Are they dangerous?
No, not man-killers, if that's what you mean. Oh, I suppose they'd claw a man if one of them was cornered, but I've never heard of a cheetah attacking. I can't say...
That didn't sound like an animal.
It isn't. It's one of my native boys. Come on, let's see what's happening. Here, I'll open the screen door.
Right.
It came from over there, at the edge of the jungle. Wait. I don't hear anything now, except the drums. Where are you going, Kent?
Just to look around in the brush.
Kent, come back. Don't be a fool. It's alive with chase.
Don't worry. Whoever was screaming was in serious trouble. Good thing it's pitch dark in case I have to handle whatever this is.
It's Superman. Yeah, can't see a thing yet. Wait. Something's moving up ahead of me. Sounds like it might be... What was that? Something struck me and dropped to the ground. Great Scott, it's a stone-tipped dart. Oh, there's another. This looks serious. I'd better get back and warn Carter.
Kent, is that you?
Yes, I'm all right.
Kent, you never should have gone in there. That's one of the primary rules in the tropics. Stay out of the jungle at night. I don't suppose you found anything.
Yes, I did. These. Poison darts.
Where did you get them?
They were shot at me, but they missed.
Kent, that means only one thing. There are headhunters in that patch of jungle. We're in trouble. No wonder those drums were so close. Come on, I've got to round up the men. You'd better go down to Pango Pete's shack and get him up. We may need him. Meet me at my cottage, but hurry.
Okay. Running into headhunters is something I hadn't expected. I hope this doesn't kill my chances of getting that antidote. Now, this is Pete's shack, I think. Yes. Pete!
Order!
Mr. Kent, open up.
It ain't gone yet.
No, but open the door. There's trouble.
Hold on. Now, what's all the excitement?
Mr. Carter says there are headhunters in the jungle near the plantation.
And how would he know?
Someone shot these at me. Look.
Blimey. Poison stickers. Don't point them at me. One scratch with them and you're a goner for sure. Dig them into the ground. That'll kill the poison.
All right, I will. Mr. Carter's rounding up the men. He wants us to meet him at his cottage.
Right. Wait till I get into some clothes.
Okay.
How'd you know them fighters was in the jungle?
Well, we heard a man screaming, and when we got to the edge of the brush, these darts came winging out.
Who was it screamed?
We don't know. Mr. Carter thinks it was one of his native boys.
You know what that means, don't you? They got the poor blighter, them heathens did. Well, I'm ready.
All right, let's go.
Yeah. Them tom-toms sound like they moved up closer.
Yes, they have. You sure they're Nawan drums?
Couldn't be nothing else. Tell by the ring of them.
Well, that means Nawan shot the darts.
Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah, Mr. Carter certainly rounded the men up fast. They're all behind his cottage. Oh, there he is on the porch.
Kent, come inside quickly. Pete with you?
Yes, he is.
Where is he?
Right here, Mr. Carter.
How can we stop this, Pete? Kent told you what happened.
Yep.
They got one boy, Tonio. I suppose we can get him up for lost.
Yeah, looks like it.
Those tom-toms are awfully close now.
That's not all. Listen.
Yeah, war chants, that is. It means business, them black devils.
We've got to stop them. Can you handle a rifle, Kent?
Yes, but I...
Here, take this one and shoot to kill. There's no telling how many of them are hidden in that jungle. What do you say, Pete?
Well, I don't know rightly. Them Nawans are a big tribe, mighty big.
Probably 100 of them, all with blowguns and poison darts. Listen to them chant. Blood-curdling.
If I could get to old Chief Sanger, I might get him to call them off for a handful of trinkets.
Oh, that's impossible now. It's certain death to anyone who goes near that jungle.
There's one of them. See the heathen sneaking along the edge?
Yes, I see him. Almost like a black pygmy.
Yeah, they're little fellas, but mean. Keep an eye on him. Watch what he does.
I'm going to keep more than an eye on him. Hold that screen door open, Kent.
Okay.
You got the black devil.
Oh, listen to them now. They're going crazy.
Yeah, that shot did it.
Afraid my native boys are going to get panicky. They're all herded in the back, frightened to death. Take a look at them, Pete. Calm them down.
Yeah, I'll do what I can.
You see anything, Kent?
No, not a thing. They must be close. That chanting and the drums.
Entirely too close for comfort, Kent. Realize what can happen? These savage tribes have wiped out entire settlements. They're amazing marksmen with their deadly little blowguns and poison darts.
Look! Something's moving at the edge of the clearing. Over to the left.
Yes, I see. Open the screen door.
Okay. Look out!
Oh. Saved my life that time, Kent. That dart would have struck me in the shoulder if you hadn't pushed me. How in heaven's name did you ever see it coming?
I don't know. Maybe we'd better not open that door again.
Probably not. What's happened to Pango Pete? He shouldn't be taking this long.
Here I am, Mr. Carter. You said to calm the men down, didn't you?
How are they?
Herded together like a bunch of sheep, that's how. If them Nawans get close enough to spot them, there'll be slaughter, and you can light of that.
We can't let them get close enough.
Sooner said than done. Like's not the clearing's alive with them, only we can't see them. Like's not they're crawling up on their bellies, fixing to rush us.
Only they'd stop that infernal drumming and that chant. It's driving me mad.
Let me see whether I can make power with them.
You mean go out there?
Blimey, no, I ain't that crazy. Step aside from the door. We'll give it a try. Now keep a sharp watch.
We will.
Well, here goes. Fire! 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 Fire!
The chanting stopped.
Hold the drum.
Fire! 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 Fire!
What did he say?
I asked him who they was, and he says the Nawans is speaking.
Find out what they want.
Nawan! Salofa Maiga Ali!
Yes?
You ain't gonna like this, Mr. Carter. None at all.
What is it? What do they want?
He said Kayabana. That means 5 heads.
5 heads?
That's it. If you asked me, I'd say we was getting off mighty cheap.
Nobody's asking you. This isn't the Middle Ages. I wouldn't make a human sacrifice if my life depended on it. Tell the bloodthirsty beggars no.
As you wish. Naga! Naga!
What does that mean?
It means we'd all better start saying our prayers now. Because here they come, and there ain't nothing gonna stop.
Keep a sharp lookout, Ken. There's no telling how many of the black beggars there are.
Okay.
Pete.
Right here, Mr. Carter.
I thought you were friendly with the Nawans, Pete. Don't you know their chief?
Oh, I knows him right enough. Chief Sanga's his name. But he ain't out there.
How do you know he isn't?
He don't move much, Chief Sanga don't. He's a bit on the old side, he is. All dried up like a prune. No, he ain't out there.
Isn't there anything that you can do to stop them?
You heard me try. They want 5 heads, they says. 5 heads to stick up on their bloomin' poles. Now, if I was you...
Try talking to them again. Tell them we'll give them food and jewelry.
It ain't gonna do no good.
Well, try it.
Right-o. Hiya, fire! Hiya, fire!
Well, that shuts them up, at least temporarily.
Go ahead, Pete. Food and jewelry.
You got to wait till he answers.
What does that mean?
It means, is we ready?
Ready for what?
To give him 5 heads, I types it.
Offer them food and jewelry. Hurry, Pete.
No one! Thunder, my old guy! Blimey, I don't know how to cite jewelry in their bloomin' language.
Listen.
What does that mean, Pete?
5 heads or nothing.
All right. Tell them it's nothing. No. Wait. I've got a better idea. We'll give them 5 men.
You can't do that, Carter. It's murder.
Don't worry. I'm not giving them 5 men. We'll try working a ruse. Are you game to go out there with me? What's that, Pete?
They wants to know what's holding up the works, as you might say.
All right. Tell them we'll give them 5 men.
Right-o. Right-o.
What's your plan, Carter?
Now listen carefully. You, Pete, and I will go out to meet them with 2 of the native boys.
Hold on a minute, Mr. Carter. Pango Pete ain't getting social with them now on Headhunters. Not on your life.
And why not?
my understanding that you are on friendly terms with the Nawan tribe. Matter of fact, it's been rumored that you haven't been above supplying them with native victims.
That's a lie. There ain't a soul can prove it. I never turned no one over to them bloody heathens.
How is it you can speak their language? I've always wondered about that.
Oh, I picked it up doing a little trading with them. That's the truth. So help me.
What sort of trading could you do with savage Indians except trading in human beings?
You got no right to say that, Mr. Carter, you ain't.
Oh, I wonder. At any rate, you're going out there with us, whether you like it or not. You're the only one who can speak their gibberish. Now, what about you, Kent? I know I've got no business asking you to risk your life.
I'll go along. As a matter of fact, I'd much rather tackle them alone.
Don't be a fool, man. They've got blowguns and poison darts. All 5 of us will meet them, armed with the 2 rifles and a revolver I have in my office. Can you handle a rifle, Mr. Kent?
I think so.
You'll take the revolver, Pete.
You can't give me no orders, Mr. Carter. I ain't going out there, I ain't.
You'll do as I say. I'm running this rubber plantation, and I've put up with enough from you for a long time. I've closed my eyes to your petty thieveries and your lying and your dishonesty.
It ain't true. It ain't true.
Shut up. I'm giving the orders now, and I don't want any more talk.
There it goes again. Probably got tired waiting.
Tell them we're coming, Pete.
I don't have to if I don't feel like it.
Tell them we're coming, or I'll put a bullet through your head.
All right. You don't have to use them tactics, Mr. Carter. It ain't like you.
Never mind what's like me. Now, hurry up.
I'm hurrying.
What did they answer?
I didn't catch.
You're lying in your teeth. It doesn't matter now. I'll go back and get the 2 boys and the revolver. Keep an eye on him, Kent. I don't trust him.
All right.
I'll be right back.
What do you suppose got into Mr. Carter? It ain't a bit like him. It ain't acting up this way. If you takes my advice, bully boy, you'll wash your hands of this business. He's making a big mistake. He is a big mistake. Them Nawans ain't no bloomin' beggars to mess with, they ain't.
And yet you were willing to take me to their chief for $500, 100 of which I've already given you.
Taking your old chief Sangha in the daytime ain't meeting up with a bloomin' 100 of them at night. And there's something else you got to remember. We ain't going to be able to get that medicine you come down for if we antagonize the Nawans. We ain't.
I'm sure Mr. Carter realizes that and has taken it into consideration.
I wouldn't be too sure if I was you. He's looking to keep his head on his neck, he is, and that's the truth of it. He don't care a bit whether you get your medicine or not. You can take it from me. Why don't you stick with me, bully boy? Why don't you tell him he ain't got no stomach for mixing with them Nawans? If we pull solid on both oars, he'll do the trick, it will. He'll back water.
And then what? You say there are 100 of them out there, armed with blowguns and poison darts.
They won't bother you and me. You got my word for it. We ain't exactly enemies, if you gets what I mean.
Yes, I think I do get what you mean.
Well, how about it?
This is my answer.
Hey, what are you doing? Leave me loose
I
now.
think we'll put you to sleep for a while. Good night, Pete.
Oh!
Yeah, it's much better. Now to deposit you in some safe, secluded place for the time being. Let's see now. Now, the back of that truck parked out front looks like it might do. Up with you, my bully boy. Open the screen door gently. There we are. Yes, this truck will do nicely. In you go. There. Now, I think it's high time
Superman took over. I can probably handle those headhunters without any bloodshed, and as Pango Pete said, it doesn't pay to antagonize them. Uh-oh. I'd better duck behind the truck and get these city clothes off before Carter spots me. I think the Nawans would enjoy seeing me in full costume. There. That does it. Now let's see what savage headhunters look like from the air. Up! Up! And away! There they are, hiding in the brush at the edge of the jungle. There's a lot more than 100. Some of them seem to be carrying spears. I'll drop a little lower. Down! Down! Yes, a few of them have spears, probably with poison tips. They're certainly bloodthirsty-looking creatures, all painted up with bones stuck through their nostrils. I no wonder Pete didn't want to meet them in the dark. I said he didn't. They're enough to frighten anybody. What would happen, I wonder, if I just dropped down in the middle of them? No, I don't think that's so smart. Yeah, that looks like a clearing over to the left. I'll drop down and watch them from there. Down! Yes, this is as good a vantage point as any. Now we'll see what happens. Uh-oh. They're getting impatient again. That means trouble. Yes, they're moving out of the brush toward the cottage. I think I'd better... What happened? Great Scott. Carter's coming out of the cottage with 4 native boys. He's going to face them. He can't do that. It's suicide. Oh, and look, they're shooting poison darts at him. He's firing. Carter! Go back, you fool! Go back! Carter! Now I'll have to take a hand. Up. There we are. All right, you beggars. Try your poison darts on me. Come on. You with that spear. Come on, pitch it over the plate. Didn't think I could catch it, did you? Watch out. Here it comes back at you. Now, decided to gang up on me, have you? Okay, see how you like this. Take that. That'll take care of you. All right, stick around, you beggars. Don't tell me you've had enough. What are you running for? No, you can't take it, huh? I didn't think so. Well, now to get back to Carter. That's Clark Kent. That's funny. He's gone. Last time I saw him, he was halfway between the cottage and the jungle. Maybe he's in the cottage. There's a light on. Oh, Mr. Carter, Great Scott. He's stretched out on his bed, white as a sheet. Boy, what happened to him?
Poison dart.
What? Where did it hit him?
In arm. This one.
Let's get a look at it. Come on, rip the sleeve off, will you? Yes, I see it. Just a pinprick, but it's red and swollen. Mr. Carter, what can I do for you? Just tell me.
Nothing to do. All over soon.
But there must be something. Some antidote, some medicine.
Indians have medicine.
That huge fire up ahead must mark their campsite. Yes, I can see them dancing around it. There's only one thing to do. Drop right down into the middle of the fire. If that doesn't make them sit up and take notice, nothing will. I can hear them chanting and beating those tom-toms. Well, this little surprise from the heavens should stop them cold. Here goes. Down! Down! Frozen in their tracks. They think I'm a spirit. Let them think it. Now on! Give ear! Watch how I stop the fire with my cloak. Take me to your chief at once, to Chief Sangha. Hurry! Take me to your chief. I think they understand me. One of them stepping out of the circle. He's coming toward me.
Pana, Ayo Sangha.
Hope that means what I think it does. Take a chance and nod my head. Yes. It's leading the way to a thatched hut. Looks like it's going to work. It is. There's the chief, propped up on animal skins. Pango Pete was right. He must be 100 years old if he's a day. All shriveled up.
Aya Payo Ama Sangha.
Warriors say you live through fire.
Yes, Sangha. I am Great Spirit.
Great Spirit.
Yes.
Why you come to Sangha, Great Spirit?
Because you are Great Chief.
Sangha, Great Chief. It is good.
Yes, but you are also old man. Your days are numbered.
Yes. Sangha, very old.
Great chief like Sangha must live with great spirits when his days are over.
Yes, it will be good.
But first, Sangha must make gifts to Great Spirit.
Give name to gifts. Sangha, make them.
To stop the poison of the great chief's darts, there is a medicine?
Yes. Kala.
This I would have, Sangha.
No more?
One thing more. A brown powder that is the medicine to stop the white powder that gives men sleep.
Yes. What more?
That is all, Sangha. But there is no time.
There is plenty of time, me bully boy.
Pango Pete.
So you knows me, eh? And who might you be in your fancy dress get-up?
Stop. This Great Spirit.
I see you've been listening to his blarney, Sangha.
Come on, speak up, my bully boy. Who is you?
You heard what the great chief said?
I heard him right enough. What do you take me for?
Great spirit.
Now, look here, Sanger. I ain't never steered you wrong, have I? If he's a great spirit, I'm the King of England. How did you get here, and what do you want?
That's none of your business. Sanga, there is no time. Where are the gifts?
Yes. Kala.
Hold on a minute. What's this about gifts? What's he taking from you, Sanger?
I'd advise you to keep out of this.
Oh, you would? And who's gonna make me?
I am, unless
what? Mind, I've got a spear in me hand. One move and I'll run you through.
Go ahead.
I'm warning. Don't take another step. All right, here it is.
All you managed to do was bounce that spear off my chest.
I don't believe it. It ain't possible.
Great spirit. Man of steel.
We're seeing things, Sanger. That spear by right should have gone clean through him. It ain't human.
Sanger has seen enough. Kala! Kala!
Ayo!
Joanna! Kala! Wawoka! Warriors will bring gifts, great spirit.
What's your game, mister? What kind of tricks are you using?
They're not tricks.
Great spirit.
On the level now. What you got up your sleeve?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Now, look here. You're after something. Well, so's Tango Pete, and he's in a fair way to get it. Take it from me. It ain't nothing fiddling, neither.
Sana. Warrior has gifts, great spirit.
What are you giving them, Sanger? What's in them pouches?
Just a minute. Those belong to me. Thank you.
What's in them?
I don't think it concerns you. The Great Spirit accepts your gift, Sanga. You will have many more years of life.
Ayo! Let there be feast and ceremony!
Blimey, you got him extra fair, you have.
I'm sorry I haven't time to discuss it with you. Perhaps we'll meet again. Farewell, great chief.
Hold on a minute. I got a proposition to make to you.
I'm not interested in your proposition.
But you haven't even heard it. Hold on now.
Up, and away!
That's it, Mr. Carter. Just a little bit more. Swallow it. There we are. You'll be all right in a few minutes. Just rest easy.
Ken.
Yes, Mr. Carter.
My legs can't. I can't move them.
And that'll pass off. You just relax.
Can't. What happened?
You were struck with a poison dart.
Oh.
Easy now, easy. You're going to recover. I gave you an antidote to the poison. I got it from the chief of the Nawans a few minutes ago.
It's almost unbelievable, Ken. No one other than those savage Nawans would dare go into the jungle at night. I have a lot of courage. I owe my life to that courage.
That was the least I could do for you.
You say you got what you wanted? Brown crystals?
Yes. I got them, and I'll be leaving as soon as you're able to get around.
Don't bother about me. My houseboy can carry on from here. You've done more than enough. I don't know how to thank you.
Oh, forget it. Incidentally, I'm going to leave the pouch containing the poison antidote with you. It may come in handy someday. I'll also leave you some of the brown crystals. I have more than enough. Here, this is the poison antidote. You better mark it when you get a chance. Now, if I can just find something to put these crystals in...
What was that?
I don't know. I better go see. Here, I'll leave these pouches on the table.
Be careful, Ken.
Don't worry.
You'll find a rifle on the porch.
Okay.
Who's there?
It's only me, Mr. Carter.
Oh, Tango Pete.
Right, you are. A bit out of breath from running around to the back after letting loose that yowl, but otherwise in good shape. Oh, you the one who screamed. What's the idea? I had to get him out of the cottage, didn't I? I'd advise you to get out yourself. I know all about you. Get out. Get off the plantation. Don't worry, Mr. Carter. I'll be toddling along soon. First, I gotta put over a little deal. Them pouches sitting on the table. They belongs to me. Keep your hands off those. Don't excite yourself, Mr. Carter. You're a sick man. Put those pouches down. Not on your life, I won't. They're going to pay me big dividends, they are. Kent! Keep your blooming mouth shut. Kent! All right, I'll get it for you. I can tell you places, Mr. Kent. If he wants these pouches, he's going to pay for them in hell. Toodaloo, Mr. Carter. Kent! Where are you? Kent!
Couldn't find anything outside. What's the matter?
Kent, your pouches. They're gone.
Where are they?
Mango Pete. What? He went out the...
Back at the rubber plantation where John Carter's life was slowly ebbing away from a poisoned dart wound, Kent gave him the medicine in the nick of time. While they were talking, after Carter's recovery, a cry sounded from outside. Kent went to investigate. As he left the cottage, Pango Pete, the white derelict who was in league with the Indians, slipped in through the back door and stole the leather pouches containing the precious antidote. When Kent, in response to Carter's frenzied cries, returned, Pango Pete was gone. Meanwhile, 2,000 miles away in the Metropolis Stadium, the all-important football game between Metropolis and Southwest University has gone into the fourth quarter. In a booth high above the field, a sports announcer reports the progress of the game.
With only 7 minutes left to go in the last quarter, it looks bad for the highly touted Metropolis team. Southwest ball on the Metropolis 15-yard line directly at midfield. Going to attempt a field goal with Southwest's ace toe artist, Big Johnny McGuire, getting the assignment. Lining up now. Haggerty will receive and hold. There's the pass. The kick. It's good. McGuire puts that right over the crossbar for a clean-cut field goal. And that makes the score Southwest 17, Metropolis 6, putting the ball game on ice for all practical purposes. Nothing seems to have happened to the Metropolis team. With the score 6-0 in their favor at the beginning of the fourth quarter, this undefeated team, slated for the Rose Bowl, just went to pieces. Bob Harris, captain and All-American fullback, started the collapse by fumbling Southwest's kickoff. In an effort to stem the tide, Coach Taylor has thrown every reserve on the squad into the team. What the next 6.5 minutes will bring is anybody's guess, but it's Metropolis most listen out of the final of the game.
The mocking echoes of Southwest University's cheering penetrate to the basement dressing room of the Metropolis team, where Professor Nelson, dean of the medical school, and Spike Taylor, the coach, are closeted in the latter's office. Taylor, nervous and on edge, is pacing the floor.
Hadn't you better go out on the bench, Mr. Taylor?
Oh, what's the use? I can't do anything for them.
Perhaps it might help their morale.
Morale? That has nothing to do with morale, Professor. Those boys are sick. They've been doped. I can't stand sitting out there and watching them go through the motions without knowing what they're doing. Isn't there anything you can do? Oh, why is medical science so helpless?
We can only cure Mr. Taylor when we know the cause of the ailment. The substance contained in the potion Dr. Stone administered the team defied analysis. Every possible effort has been made. The drug is, as we are aware, the concoction of a tribe of Central American Indians, probably derived from some native root or berry. The laboratory has given it all the possible tests to determine its contents, to no avail.
But there is an antidote. Stone mentioned it in his diary, and his sister told us there were brown crystals that killed the effect of the potion immediately.
Yes, I know. But the antidote is in Central America, 2,000 miles away. It would take months to get, if it could be gotten at all.
You know, Professor, I can't understand what happened to Clark Kent. His office hasn't heard from him in 3 days.
It's strange, because he seemed so interested.
After all, a man just doesn't vanish into thin air.
He'll probably turn up. Kent is not our problem.
What is our problem?
It's trying to solve the mystery of that Indian drug. But I'm afraid we've failed.
Well, I suppose there's nothing we can do except stand by and watch the slaughter. I don't care for myself particularly. Although you can bet your bottom dollar those sports writers will take me apart piece by piece in tomorrow's papers. It's the boys on the team. They're the greatest sufferers.
If you mean physically, I wouldn't worry too much. Recovery from the effects of this mysterious potion seems rapid and complete. All it does is create a temporary dizziness.
No, I don't mean physically. I told him it was up to the team to raise enough money to meet the terms of the Richards will so that the medical laboratory could get that $3 million legacy. They know it won't be earned unless we're invited to play at the Rose Bowl. What can they be thinking of out in the field now, fumbling, running around in circles, tackling like cream puffs?
Suppose we both go out to the bench, Mr. Taylor. Possibly there's been a change. The potion may have worn off. Come, shall we?
All right. Probably another touchdown for Southwest.
And that makes it 23-6 with Southwest on the long end of the score. On a 30-yard pass from Gordon McRae, the Southwest quarterback raced 47 yards to a touchdown without having a hand laid on it. I see that Coach Taylor just returned to the top of his bench, making some substitutions. Big time clock at the west side of the field shows 3 minutes to go. Not much time with 17 points separating two teams. Sad day for Metropolis. A very sad day. And here are some substitutions for you. Lake for Bob Harris. McCoy for Danning. Saunders for Willis. Time has been called. The Southwest band is forming a huge victory S down at the other end of the field. And just listen to that cheer.
3 minutes to go in the football game for which the stakes are $3 million. $1 million a minute. All hope seems lost, and yet, unknown to any of the thousands of people crowded into the Metropolis Stadium, the darkness of a Central American jungle is the scene of a dramatic chase that may well determine the outcome of the game. There, Clark Kent, having thrown aside his reporter's disguise, is trailing Pango Pete, the white derelict, as Superman. The jungle is alive with the blood-curdling cries of wild beasts that roar defiance as Superman plows his way through the matted, twisted undergrowth.
The only way he could have come. The only semblance of a path. He didn't have much of a lead, so I should be closing in on him soon. Stuff is certainly thick. Twisted vines and heavy brush. No wonder those Indians camp here. It's like going through barbed wire. What? That didn't sound like an animal. It isn't. It's a human voice screaming for help. What could it be, Pango Pete? What? Great Scott, it is Pango Pete. Caught by a giant boa constrictor. Oh, he's crushing him in his coils. I never tackled a 50-foot snake before, but there's nothing like trying. Here goes. There we are. Oh, you don't like being interfered with, huh? Open those coils. Come on, open them. There, that does it. Now I'll just tie you into a knot that you'll never squirm out of. There we are. Now to see what happened to Pango Pete. No, he's done for. Got to him too late. Well, I can't say the world has suffered any great loss. Now, where are those leather pouches? Let's see. Here in his shirt. Both of them. There isn't time to stop back at the plantation. I've got to get to Metropolis immediately. Even now, it may be too late. Up, and away!
Red cloak streaming in the wind, Superman speeds north, carrying the precious antidote to the mysterious drug afflicting the players on the Metropolis football team. Meanwhile, in the stadium, the referee's whistle sounds for the resumption of play. On the Metropolis bench, Coach Taylor and Professor Nelson watch the teams line up.
You see why I didn't want to sit out here, Professor Nelson. Look at those boys. They're all groggy. They can't stand up on their feet. This game can't be over too soon for me. Well, there's the kickoff. Look at that. Harris never punted less than 50 yards in his life. That kick went 20. It was a lot. And on our 32-yard line at the kickoff. There's a score on this play. You just wait and see.
Taylor, call time. Hurry.
Kent, where did you
Call
come?
time. Don't ask questions.
Metropolis, time!
Now get the teams out of the dressing room.
For the love of heaven, Kent.
I've got the antidote. Hurry. You only have 3 minutes.
I can't take the team off the field. It's against the rules.
Well, then get the balance of the squad into the dressing room. Professor Nelson and I will take care of them. When we send them back, make substitutions as fast as you can. Don't waste a second. Come on, Professor. This is our only chance.
This crowd is going wild, ladies and gentlemen, and so am I. With only 3 minutes to play, time was called by Coach Taylor of Metropolis. Every Metropolis reserve left the bench for the dressing room, and down there a miracle happened. These same men who just a minute before were tired and beaten came out like raging tigers. In 3 lightning plays, Metropolis scored to make the tally 23-13, and then, kicking from the 49-yard line, Captain Bob Harris planted a stunning field goal between the uprights, and the score was 23-16. And that roar you heard a moment ago marked the second Metropolis touchdown, the result of a forward pass into the southwest end zone. And so, as we go into the last 20 seconds of play, the score is tied at 23-23 with the ball in the possession of Metropolis on the southwest 44-yard line. Anything can happen now, anything. There's the whistle. Teams are lining up. The 3-2-1 backfield for Metropolis. Harris again on the receiving end. Ball comes back. Harris makes the pass. No, he can't pass. The southwest line's been broken through. He's trapped. He's going to carry the ball, and there he goes. Dodging and twisting. What a beautiful run. Two southwest men are closing in on him at the 20-yard line. He sidesteps one of them. He's at the 12, the 10, the 6. There's Jackson. Missed him. He's over for a touchdown, and that's the end of the game. Metropolis wins.
And so another adventure of Superman ends in a blaze of glory. But there are new thrills in store for us, beginning with the very next episode. Thrills and adventure that only the Man of Steel can provide. So don't fail to be with us when we begin our new story. Thrills galore, so tune in and listen with Superman.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
A bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature